Welcome back to the Bronzie Breakdown. This is Pendle along with Lake, Daisy, and Panda, where we are four friends fumbling our way through trying to figure out what is going on in the North American League of Legends scene. I believe we're going to start today with a fog of draft, or does anyone else have anything else they'd like to talk about first?
I think I just need to stay quiet this week after
Uh,
the abysmal amount of points I managed.
Only thing to talk about I can think of is just a couple roster moves that
Yeah,
happened
this
before
Right.
this week kicked off.
goofies.
Right. So first one, not too major, kind of major. I feel. From the sounds of it, it was his choice was to go back to academy, based on what he posted online. But Soul from TSM went back to academy, and they promoted Solo up in the top lane. So I don't think that one was obviously a little bit more impactful because obviously veteran player over a rookie player,
Yeah.
but also still kind of new to probably the TSM lineup. Because I was Kobe had pulled something up and he was on TSM Academy for like 14 days.
Yeah,
And
it was
then
just 2 weeks worth. Yeah.
yeah, and then moved straight into top lane. So and
Moving on
then
up
you
to
wanna
the weak side.
Yeah, like I said, it wasn't really surprising to me that he made it up. I was kind of expecting that at most Soul would get 1 week, but I was a little hopeful and was like, well, who is going to go coach? It's like, okay, well, if that's the case, they've given up on this year. So, like, are we just going to, like, see how this pans out? And it does not look like that's the case.
and then who wants to kick off the other kind of bigger one in my opinion?
Yeah, it was River over to um
Golden Guardians from
Golden
Big.
Guardians. Yeah,
Um, I don't know anything like from the background of that one. I mean, I feel like Golden Guardians it's a step up. I don't think it's like monumentous, but it is curious. Like just that, was this a GG decision or a Dig just being like this isn't working? We need to shake something up, and if that's the case, River was their solution. That seems a little weird, but who
Um,
knows?
I'm so I've been watching a lot of Kobe streams because he does a lot of Champions Q stuff. Which you see a lot. You actually don't see a lot of these same picks in Champions Q that you see in Pro Play, um, which is super interesting.
Well, I feel
But
like it probably lends itself a little bit differently in the
yeah,
atmosphere.
his thought process is Dig wants their money because they know they're not making playoffs. At least there should be no way they make playoffs. And Golden Guardians was willing to pay it because they're like, wait, we're in the midst of this. We can actually make somewhat of a move in the playoffs and the rest of the season. And so I think it was Golden Guardians trying to see what can happen with this change. Because to be fair, River is a very good jungler. It's just unfortunate the team that he was on and how they played this split so far.
Um, as far as making it to playoffs, I think Dig would have to win at minimum uh 3 of their games. So if they lose 3 games, they are for sure like not making eighth. Which with the record seems like it's kind of ridiculous, but they are only 2 games behind eighth technically. So, but yeah, I think it might be them just trying to get their money where they can at the moment, and then maybe they look at something rebuilding next year. But I don't know. It does suck when teams are already like not even fully through a season, and they're just like, okay, well, GG next.
Yeah.
which almost feels like what this play is.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing that sucks about it for me is that when you allow 8 out of 10 teams to make it in playoffs, not playing for the season it just feels really like excruciatingly terrible.
You know, in only winning 60% of your remaining 5 games doesn't seem impossible for a pro level team.
Yeah,
Yes, it sounds bad when you say you have to win 60 or there is no possible way, and that is also dictating that other teams are losing their games, right? GG would have to
yeah,
lose the rest of their games
yep.
out, or TSM would. But
It's like while it's possible, it's not likely.
yeah, it is very
Yeah.
unlikely. It's just not at like the impossible stage just yet. But for them to just almost feel like we give up, like that's I think a poor mentality as an organization, I guess.
Yeah.
Like
But
I don't know
Well-
what sort of talent they're gonna try to get to bring in,
Yeah, I don't.
but
I
like
don't
if
know
this is
either.
the case, they need to just start. I know it's part of the reason why you had so many. You're having more and more new faces, but like they really need to dig deep and try to put together salvage a building year out of this some way.
Yeah, they do, and I don't think that they needed to go like a TSM route, right? And
Yeah,
just like completely destroy everything. But it's tough. Like they were doing, obviously record wise they were doing bad, right? But
oh yeah,
they were still showing improvement. They were showing things that were getting better at. And honestly, for me, it's like you do all this stuff to get the players that you got, and you're just like, all right, we're done. Like, is Gamsu is Gamsu better than Hoon? Probably by a little bit, in my opinion. But yeah, at that point, they probably looked at the standings when we're two games behind. I don't think we can make up these 2 games. I guess we'll do whatever the hell we want now.
and maybe it is them kind of trying to line some other pockets to look to pick up larger acquisitions in the off season, but
It's gonna be
I think they would need
real
some pretty big
interesting what they're
changes.
gonna look like. Yeah, because wasn't Dig one of those teams that like just came back?
Yeah, within the last year or two,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Yep.
they're relatively new, and I believe they had quite a few pickups just in this off season previously. So I don't know what this
yeah.
I
is.
don't know.
Dig's best team was when they had Hooney top lane. I think it was.
Hooney, Greg, Froggen, Johnson, Alframo. I pulled up a
Yep.
Dignitas page
Yeah,
to
and
see
that was like their
who
season
the fuck
back.
they had for like their academy
That,
too.
that
Like,
was their season. That was their season back. So,
yeah.
but I mean, I think it's beating a dead horse. There's a lot of like, what the hell is going on behind the scenes on
There's a
that? But
lot of what the hell going on with NA.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When you can get someone like I Will Dominate who will wake up at the worst freaking hours of the day and do a full co-host or like co-cast of
LPL.
LPL and LCK and LEC, and then I caught him day 1. They only went until the TSM game, and then he's like, all right, I'm out. Like, he didn't even
Yeah.
stay for the rest of the freaking games.
Like he watched games at the start of the season, and then he was like, dude, I can't I can't watch this anymore. What am I seeing? What's going on? I can't watch this. It's just too painful.
So
oh
it's bad.
yeah,
It's bad. But
Yeah, I don't think he's released a YouTube like co-watch video for the LCS since week 2.
yeah,
Just
I
like
actually
tunes
don't
in
even know.
briefly and then he's out.
Yeah, because when LCS is going on, I'll browse to see who the hell's live. I don't even think Sneaky Double Lift and Meteos have done one in a few weeks.
Well, Double Lift is temp banned on it right now.
Did he say some stuff? Dude, it can't be worse than
it wasn't
Fudge.
that bad, dude. It was not that bad.
It can't be worse than Fudge flat out saying fuck like 4 times during analysis and casting.
Oops.
But I'll tell you though, that's the shit we need in NA, man.
I'm glad Whippo and Fudge
are willing to do that. I really am.
Dude, I have been enjoying having these players on.
Right?
I really
have. It was even better to have last week Whippo interview Fudge, and then this week Fudge interview Whippo, and then they faced each other day 2.
So this is what you would do at that point. Can I have this notepad on stage? No. Somebody write this on my hand.
Right. But yeah, when that stuff happens, it just makes it more enjoyable. The LEC does that a lot more often. This past weekend for the LEC, they had a lot of the their other casters and crew there doing the games this week. Like,
LEC's been known to do it. Well, was last year they brought Foxy on quite a few times to cast.
Yeah, this
week. Fox drop,
yeah, this week. Machine was the person for Shocks this week, and then it was just a lot more fun casting and stuff on the LEC right now, which shows with the viewership, right?
Yep.
Viewership going up because they're doing crazy stuff. Not saying and to top it off, the bet that Dash and Jat did, it was fun seeing that happen, right? Because the bet was who's going to be EG first, and Jat won the bet. So Dash was literally in fucking an ice water trying to answer questions and lead the discussions and
then splash the hell out of everyone else.
So it's like that's the stuff that made it fun and more engaging. So it's like they need to do something more with that.
Yeah.
It might make the the 1 games instead of the best of 3s more bearable, right?
Yeah, we're still gonna shit on in international events, but at least the cast could be maybe more entertaining. Like I'll honestly take that trade.
Yeah.
For now, there has to be something redeeming.
Yes. So. Yeah, and it sucks when you get the LEC and they have the fun cast like that, but they still go to international events and show up. So it makes it a little worse.
I feel bad.
How did I get the worst of both of those worlds? That makes no sense, man.
Right.
We can't be serious and win, and we can't be goofy and no. Can't have either. We have to be
dude.
We have to be serious
and we lose.
Players, man. G2's fucking trying to give me a heart attack, but day 1, what was it? All of them except for Yankos wore mullet wigs on the stage.
Was it well, what I posted for us the other day was Otawame coming dressed in as a Star Guardian.
Yeah, like even the players. Like, because they were talking about it too. They're like, we didn't put any of them up to that. They literally saw the wigs and threw them on and started walking around asking people if they liked their mullet. Like, they were just having fun. So, they need that to happen. I think the only semi-fun thing has been Vulcan writing nonsense on his forehead or something.
Yeah.
Because he can get people to like a Twitter post more than the original Twitter
just
post.
That, and then trash talk from the couple, the 2 people that exit.
Jojo, Jojo's trash talk.
Jojo and Dokla, that's it. And then Dokla stopped trash talking when they started losing.
Yeah, and then you get Whippo and Fudge going up and casting and being super honest about it too. Like, oh, I don't know why they did that, or Fudge dropping F-bombs because he forgets what he's doing.
But do you remember where you are? Nope, not even a clue.
Fuck
Of course.
no.
Fuck no, I don't know where I'm at.
Okay.
So, speaking of fun time,
we can
Blake,
talk
you want
about the
fun time?
games. Let's do the Fog draft.
Fun time.
So it is my turn this week
Which
to
caused a
do
few
this.
complications.
Unfortunately, the image is super
Probably
tiny.
super tiny.
Yeah, extremely tiny. And super gradient too. If I try to zoom it in, so I'm just not going to add it. So we're just going to
That's fair.
use our imaginations on this one.
Just imagine these champions.
Imagination.
Good luck.
So we'll give you guys
It's a big
more.
test for the viewer as it is us. It's fine.
Yeah, right.
Um,
More fun for you guys. Fuck with me, I guess.
All right.
Okay, what do we got?
You ready?
I'll let
All
you
right.
guys lead it, even though I've seen the.
You know what they are, but
Yeah.
on one team, we have Gangplank, Xin Azir, Draven, and
Renata.
who's last? Renata.
Okay. Pretty standard draft outside of
Nothing.
Xin Zhao. Yeah.
Nothing terribly crazy. And then you have Ornn, Trundle, Victor, Callista, and Pike. Those are your lineups.
What of the 10 teams was dumb enough to pick Victor?
Who's dumb enough to just press L and
Because
draft?
Victor hasn't won a game, right? He was like 0-6, 0-7 or something.
I don't know. Ask that man.
When we checked like a couple
believe
weeks ago.
so. Yeah, he was
hadn't
0
won a
whatever.
He was
single
0-6
freaking
last
game.
week. So
Unfortunately, top Ornn doesn't give shit away.
Nope.
The only potential thing I can think of for that is taking out the C9TL game. Because I have not seen either of those two really play Ornn this split. And I don't think they would choose that in a matchup against each other. I just don't.
You don't think it's fun enough for them?
No, not for those two. That, and I feel like if someone picked the Ornn, you'd have a spicier pick than Gangplank maybe, but Gangplank is such a stock standard pick against it. So I'm gonna kind of rule out C9TL. Which the Xin Zhao, instantly I thought Blabber, but I'm already taking that one out of contention for that one, right? Spica maybe, but it's what, Instinct for their AD carry for TSM?
Yes.
Would Instinct take Draven is a question. I don't know what I don't remember his last few picks. Just because the games haven't been that memorable. Callista, Pike. That's an interesting bot lane.
That is a fun bot lane. I think I talked about that when you guys had asked who I would like to see paired with Callista. I was like, Pike is a lot of fun because it gives him an extra, more mobility. What makes Pike more annoying? Him just all of a sudden being gone. So.
Right?
And it means he doesn't have to waste anything to engage.
Fuck. If I'm also trying to eliminate anybody based off top. No, I think honestly Impact would take the Ornn. I don't think Revenge would. Especially since Fly's trying to play through Revenge. So I could see the Gangplank. So, okay. I know I've been talking about the top lanes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just popped into my head. So I might honestly make this my guess. So yesterday, Abadage was interviewed about Dignitas's changes. Because not only did River get moved to Golden Guardians, they also moved up some Academy players, Blue and... Or not Academy, but they pretty much shifted their roster like TSM did.
Mm-hmm.
And Abadage was asked about Blue, and he's honestly a good mid laner. He's smart in what he does. I think I faced him a few times, and he was naming champions that Blue has played that he's faced, and one of them was Victor. Okay. So the Pyke really throws it off though, because now I'm saying Biofrost played Pyke. Not saying he can't, but it hasn't really, he hasn't really shown that he could play Pyke recently. But based off that interview, I'm going to say this was CLG Dig.
Final answer?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to get your points there.
Fuck yeah. Dude,
Are
that
you
interview
going-
saved me.
Fucking interview.
So I think you already gave away like what your answer
Yeah,
for
if
this
it's
next question is.
CLG Dig, then I'm going to say the Victor was Dig. So the Gangplank's in Azir, Draven, Renato was CLG. And then the Ornn, Trundle, Victor, Callista, Pyke were Dig.
Okay. Right again.
Fuck yes!
So
Dude, that was actually, if it was not for that interview with Abadage, I don't know if I would have taken Dig.
I'm impressed for a couple of reasons. One, you called out Spica, which also plays Zinzao this week, day 2.
Yeah.
2, you also stayed completely clear of the one pick we assumed you were going to cling to.
Which
This is not Draven on Hansama.
Oh, yeah, I saw the Draven and I'm like, who the fuck would play Draven right now?
Hansama's played it already twice this season.
Yeah, I don't like I was trying to figure out the top lane and then the Victor. If that interview didn't fucking happen, I might have actually would have said like TL or something. Like,
Yeah.
That's what I was kind of banking on.
Yeah.
shoot, I might have even said TSM Golden Guardians.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the other one might have been easier
Which one?
for us, just because of the interview being the way it did. That's it.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that interview and me watching day 1,
That's so wild.
Yeah. That's full of fun. But it is also funny that you're like, that seems too tame for Fudge and Whippo. Fudge and Whippo literally played Gwyn and Olaf
Oh, did
that
they?
day. Yeah, so
That's a
they had like the
crazy
most fun
matchup,
top
too,
lane.
yeah.
Yeah, they had the most fun matchup of the day too. So like on point on all.
Yeah.
Like.
Maybe we should have picked the C9 TL game because then maybe the COG would have thrown him off.
No, Hansam is known for Kog'Maw, unfortunately.
I think
then Callista on Berserker.
the Olaf,
would have given it away.
I don't think the
Olaf
Olaf would have 100% given it away, because I think Fudge has done an Olaf as well.
Fudge has, but
Whippo has only done it once as well, I think.
He's done it 2 or 3 times now.
No, it's 2 times now.
2 times? I
He's done it
think
once before.
it might have
'Cause he
come
did it
down
in the-
to the jungler matchup. What was the jungler matchup in that one?
Hecarim versus Wukong.
Not so
Dude.
pretty pony versus the monkey.
And at that point, I would have, I think, oh man, no, because Hecarim, fucking
Hecarim
Dig,
trains the Dig pick right
Dig
now.
pulled out Hecarim day 1, right? Against 100 Thieves?
Yes.
Dude, it would have been a toss-up between C9 and Dig.
So,
Because of the Hecarim.
regardless, both right on just about all accounts.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Dude, that
I'm pretty
was
sure. I need to
tough.
double check. Now, I said it out loud, and I'm not positive. Yes, Spica did play Xin Zhao that day too.
Did he?
Yeah.
That is tough. Dude, the Fog draft is wild.
Well,
That is
congratulations. We won't be
wild.
wrong for everybody this season.
That is true.
So somebody got the
Yeah,
points on it.
finally.
We can go 50% with Daisy next week.
Yeah, nope. Not gonna happen.
Daisy's like, we're not gonna bank on this.
Speaking of banking on, dude, day 1. What what happened to top laners? Day
A
1.
lot of deaths
Yeah.
occurred.
This is my meta.
A lot. Yeah. Speed to win is the new meta. Pins having a good season.
It was like what, every single game except for CLGs, where if they attacked the top lane and killed the opponent like 5 to 10 times, but their bot lane was just getting rolled over, they lost.
Yeah.
Like, that was the craziest day 1 for top laners. And what supports? Who was it? Who was it that went 0-10 on support? There was an 0-10
shit.
support. Was it LEC? I might be thinking it was LEC.
I don't know of an 0-10.
Because I can't remember.
Like, I know you had
the
mentioned that
channel.
earlier, and I'm like, I think I would
I
have.
think it was LEC then.
I think I would have recalled an 0-10 support because it was like Bronzie
Yeah.
play of the week for your entire fucking game. But however, I could see Sven dying 10 times in a game.
I'm gonna try to figure out what freaking LEC game it was now, but there was a support that died 10 times.
I had a Bronzie play that I saw today.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I'm trying to. I think it was Jose Diaz. It was the Flyquest game, and I watched Jose Diodo on Lee Sin
Yeah.
throw his Q out onto Wukong.
Okay.
Both of them are at full HP. Wukong's, I want to say, like, even if he's not a level up, right? They're at least like even, but I think Wukong's ahead. And so he takes the Q in and gets absolutely just destroyed. And I sat there going, is there a world that I can think of where if they're like even, Lee Sin just straight kills Wukong?
Lethality, Lee Sin. You asked if there's a world. I gave you a world.
I would say yes, but it'd be a lot closer than we think it would be. Although I think to kill the monkey, you'd almost have to 100-0 him.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Lethality, Lee Sin in particular. He's got to be.
I don't know what he was thinking, but he nearly, he basically lost an objective because he tried to 1v1 his counterpart that he couldn't 1v1. Like, where he was on the champion, it wasn't possible.
He just completely forgot that apparently Lee Sin's just not as strong right now.
By the way, I found it.
I'm actually, I also found it, and it's made worse.
It was Mickey.
He didn't Q. He flashed. Oh,
the Lee Sin onto the Woo.
Yeah, so he had already used his Q on a minion. He ward hopped, flashed a wall to attempt to fight the full health Wukong, who was already 2-0-2. So
With
was
more fun.
already ahead.
It was.
He's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna flash this wall without my Q, and the Wukong's like, I'm gonna beat your ass. And Lee Sin's like, oh yeah, see, I didn't think about that. Yeah,
But like
no,
that's bronze. Like that's what that is, right? You just
Yeah.
you see it, you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, it's
Yeah,
on
yeah.
its own. I can
That's-
1v1 anything.
That's Lee Syndrome. That's Bronzie Lee Syndrome.
he didn't even have his Q up.
A Bronzie Lee Syndrome.
His Q was down.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you're
can win
maxing
those.
Q as
You're not
maxing
can win
Bronzie,
those, dude.
obviously.
Because really, like, the whole thing is you want to execute with your Q, right? Because it does more damage on the second portion the lower HP they are. So if
But
you use
it's-
all of your other abilities first, that's clearly the better play.
except for its ability you're maxing, it's like all of your damage. And it's on such a low cooldown. Don't do that. If you're playing Lee Sin, don't do that. That's a bad. Don't. Your Q is necessary for a fight. At all times, don't just flash walls blindly for funsies. Yeah, don't do that.
So it was an LEC game. And Mickey got turned into Sushimi. He was
Konami
0-10 on Lanami. It was Lucianami versus a Draven Leona. And he went
Oof.
0-10 in that game. Mickey, his whole game was bronzy. Like, if you want to watch that game just to see poor pathing and positioning at all times throughout the entire game, go watch Mickey. He was, his monitor was 100% not turned on during that game. Okay.
Rough times.
Yeah, but I don't, dude. Top laners, even Fudge, he, because they were interviewing Fudge because obviously he was doing the game later.
Yeah.
They were like, so how was that game? He's like, it was a game. I was there. Bot lane won.
All lane one.
Yeah.
Thank you. So.
They asked him, they're like, is this when you type into chat, better top wins?
I mean, the answer at that point is yeah, because he got.
He's like, yeah, that's what you do. He's like, but there is some solidarity as a top laner that even though your team lost, you beat up the other top laner.
Like, we at least trashed
You
that
did
guy.
what you needed to do. It was
Well,
everybody else that couldn't do
my
what they
team,
needed
bro.
to do.
And to get into that game in particular, like, they didn't even smash him that hard. He was down like what, 20 CS at 15 minutes. Jax is 2-3-2, so he has some gold. Like, he should be beating up on the Gwen at this point. But it's not like, oh shit, this Jax is literally going to come in and demolish my entire team. Like, that's just not going to happen. But
Which, Daisy, you got to see it.
Yeah.
You got to see the Jax
Jax
finally get picked into the Gwen.
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab Gwen. Jax. Oh yeah, that's a
And-
fucking thing.
And then I got to see
Unfortunately, Cloud9
everything
said,
else.
here's Blabberon Olaf.
Dude, I
Choo
will
choo,
say
motherfucker.
that the Olaf performance was particularly good. But I feel that way about when he picks that just in general, you know. I thought it was a very clever jungler, for
Yeah.
especially where it was in the draft. I thought it was a really good pick.
It was fifth. Was it last pick? Fifth pick?
Yeah, I think it was fifth pick on. It was Red said either whether it was fourth or fifth.
He was.
It was
It
on-
was
Yeah,
red
it was
side. I can't
fifth pick,
confirm.
red side. It was final pick. So
Yeah. Because it was like into Talia and a bunch of other stuff that are like, please stay away from me.
Yeah, Talia,
And-
Poppy, fucking Bejeweled motherfucker. God, why is his name
Tart.
eluding me? No, Bejeweled.
Tart. Tart.
Sound like you said Bard.
No, Tart.
And Jax. Like, dude, all five of them. Even the Sivir. It's like, what do you
So I would
do?
like you to fight over there, and Olaf's like, I don't give a. fuck what you want.
Yeah.
Which we
But
didn't we didn't talk about because I didn't know about it. What do you think of the Sivir changes?
They're good, and the reason why they're good is this. So the common pairing of like Yumi and Ezreal.
Yeah.
I've got another lane that's safer than Yumi Ezreal. That's Yumi plus Sivir.
What do you think about the spell shield changes? I mean, it's more weighted towards Kratos.
So I guess just to call the blind monk blind. I have not seen these changes, so this does.
So, Sivir gets to essentially double crit on her Q now, like as it goes out and comes back. It's slightly reduced damage on the W when she gets to do her attack through the minions. Her ricochet. But the more enemies it ricochets on, it increases the damage. So it's like if you only bounce it off of like 2 enemies, like
it's like Jin without the stipulation for killing on the Q.
Yeah.
It makes standing in the minions just
the
impossible.
spell shield doesn't give you mana anymore; it gives you health.
So this is gonna pretty much, and I like. I'm gonna take a look here to make sure that I'm not.
Because like it
here,
feels like if she wants to feel like she did before, you kind of have to pick tier into Manamune.
That's the thing. Like I would think so as well, but that's not the build path they're taking.
No, we've seen 2 build paths. We've seen Gale Force and we've seen Kraken. And not a single.
So I like the changes, but yeah, it does feel like it would just be a mana drain. But I guess it'd be hard to see a lane stand in lane against that.
Which she's like one of the top picks now for bot lane is Sivir, even over Zeri for pros.
Well, I mean, for a safe wave clear, you really can't beat it.
Yeah.
Like spell shield makes you,
which obviously shows you right the attacks against top, right? Because you really have to commit against the Sivir. If you're trying to counter whatever the hell they're doing against your top laner, Sivir makes that extremely difficult. Because it's like, oh, this wave that you're trying to push against me, I'm gonna Q, ricochet. Okay, what are you gonna do? You have to fully commit to this if you're gonna do it.
And not only that, she gets move speed for hitting people. Like
because they're
and her ulti is just a giant amount of move speed as well. Like it's.
But the other side of it is, at least day 1, we did see that even though they attacked the top laners and they got the Sivir top laner got ahead, they lost through the enemy bot laner just doing stupid things.
Yeah.
Like Berserker getting that penta.
Yeah, that was.
Fly should have won that. Fly 100% should have won that C9 game.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that this weekend. Honestly,
But like, I just watched in horror though a couple times of just how games slipped away.
Takoi didn't look like himself in this game either.
Well, it's kind of hard to like his early stuff. He looked fine, but the problem is that continually they disrespected the Olaf's ability to get out of a situation.
Or Blabber just ran straight at them through the situation.
Well, that's what I mean, though, right?
Behind the Baron pit.
Yeah.
Like I just watched the fight where he tried to fling him. Takui tried to fling Blabber, and Blabber's like, no.
Yeah.
Just gonna walk right through all of this.
What was it? The Herald fight? It pretty much swung. Like Cloud9, like
it was over as soon as it happened. It was done.
Yep.
They called it out on the
the desk. Too.
The casters. Yeah. It was Flower that said, "Oh, the game's over."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, that's over."
I mean,
Like-
5K up at 12 minutes. Yeah, looking
Yeah,
pretty done.
Blabber's got 3 kills, assists. You got assists in a kill over to the Gwen, even though she's getting stomped on. You know,
Your
Berserker's
Ori is
still
2-1 and
unkilled.
7.
Yeah. You even have Jensen on Orianna, which they talked about too. They're like, you know, you can kind of tell when C9's playing seriously when they finally get Jensen
Yeah,
on
Jensen on Orianna,
on the
yeah.
carries that he's
Yeah.
really good at.
It does beg the question on how long is it going to be before teams actually like put priority on that pick, because it is very strong right now and is showing that it's very strong.
Well, what's rough too is not Blabber, Fudge, because he was the one interviewed. He was like, he laughed about what they said. They're like, oh, Jensen, you know, is on Orianna. We know they're playing seriously. And he's like, well, the other picks that he played, we thought that they were good in what we were doing and what the meta was.
Yeah.
So it's just going to come down to, I guess, the mentality of the team of like, what are they thinking? Not saying, do we want an easy win or a guaranteed win? Let's pick these champions, but...
Well, and here's the thing, right? Like, they're basically guaranteed to be in playoffs.
Yeah. Should be. It's still very tight at the bottom.
Yeah, but, like, realistically, C9 should be a shoo-in.
Yeah.
Fine, try stuff out, whatever, but just, like...
Well, and the good thing is a lot of the stuff they were trying out was towards the beginning, right?
Yeah, but most of them look like shit.
Since they got Berserker and Sven back in the lineup, even though we're like, is that truly going to make a difference? Even though it's just Super Week we're comparing to. Super Week, they were 0-3, but
yeah.
since then they're what, like 7 and like whatever?
Yeah, and you know, all of that is
8 and 2.
Yeah, and that's great, but like at the same time, Berserker has definitely been carrying them pretty hard. It's been Berserker and Blabber. But good news for them is Jensen's not underperforming at this stage in the season.
He's doing what he needs to do.
Yeah, he's doing what he needs to do. He's had like a couple pretty good games. Nothing like terrifying, but you know, pretty good. And then Fudge is either getting super focused by the enemy team or he's winning. It's usually how it goes.
Yeah, which you get to see with CLG at the same time. It's either, you know, Dokla is getting super focused or he's just destroying his opponent.
Yep.
Either you go up there and deal with Dokla or Fudge, or they deal with your top laner. Like, one of the two will happen. You take a pick.
Yeah.
Which is even scarier in a meta where it seems focusing the top lane is not helping.
No. Yeah, because we saw it all 4 out of the 5 games where top lane just got handed to him. But bot lane said, I'm here. I got you. You're good.
Give me 5 items and a little bit of time, we good to go.
Yeah,
So.
or just give me a penta and we win.
Yeah. It's Berserker. Like that's a scary person to
Dude, he
allow
played
free roam.
he played that penta fight so well. He waited out the Tark ulti to hit his ulti, kited around. Dude, he played that so well. Speaking of playing fairly well, right? 100 Thieves. Granted, they are playing against the random put together Dignitas. But
Dignitrash.
Dignitas was also 4-5 against 100 Thieves.
Well, I also think that Dignitas didn't play a terrible game. But all of that being said, I wanted to call out 100 Thieves for insanely good drafting. I thought it was super intelligent. They really wanted the Gnar. That's what they really wanted.
Yeah, and they
Other
got
team
a
picks
better
Gnar.
Yeah.
So like, fine, we're also gonna pick Gnar. It's like that's not possible. Yes, it is. 100%
Watch me.
is. We're just gonna play Silas in top lane.
Yeah.
It's
Which-
not bad. He heals. He heals well, so he can match up into the Gnar in terms of like trades once Gnar gets melee. Or if he hits like a lucky chain, he can usually be okay.
Yeah, so he also has the option of going in when Nars exhausted. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're exhausted. Dash in. It's like I can now force a fight or force you to jump away.
But it usually doesn't work until the Silas has some items. It usually doesn't work until Silas has ulti.
Anyone
I did like
mark
the
when that 1v1 kill was?
I did like the adaptation on the Silas build in top.
Yep, I agree. But
because you don't always have to go Everfrost.
No.
There's been a lot more Leandries, but it seems like if you're mid lane, it's like, all right, Everfrost it is.
I mean, it makes the most sense because it will keep them in place for the next round of spells, or if you're having problems hitting in the first place, it will keep them in range so you can hit one. But like when you get to, when your team gets to combine Gnar, ulti, and the I just lost it. The stupid bird captain of the freaking universe, Azir. If you get to
Shinlord.
combine those two ultis without having the drawbacks of waiting for Gnar to be mega, it's huge.
Which it was at like 4 minutes and some change for the someday 1v1.
Yeah. It was just flat. Like he was in Meganar at the time, and he just
I mean, he was also like halfway through it, but
he still was Meganar the entire.
The thing was,
last
he
game.
almost killed someday. It was pretty freaking close.
Yeah,
I think
about
that he
what, 12
misplayed.
minutes in?
I think that he
the second-
misplayed. Otherwise, he would have killed someday
Because
because he checked like a couple autos too.
That final
Yeah,
turret
the
shot
one where he
killed him
went
just
under the
before the
tower.
boulder toss.
Oh
Yeah.
100%.
Just before the boulder toss.
He should have beat him. But that first solo bolo was 100. Like he played Silas, dude, hitting that chain right as he's fucking hopping off your head to stop.
Oh yeah,
it.
yeah.
Well, Hoon also, that last one where Hoon almost soloed someday, Hoon checked an auto. That would have been the kill.
Yeah.
But like, it was one of those things where I really feel that was, I mean, well played to someday, but also poorly played on the reverse of that, because that should be a Gnar favorite matchup pretty heavily actually, early, and then it falls away towards Silas late, mid to late.
I will also have to, dude, Abadage doing it again, catching Aries as their freaking ulting with freaking
yeah.
with the shuffle, like, come on, second week in a row, like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
I will say it's like one of those, like, I think I said once, I'm really just unimpressed with the Azirs, and then all of a sudden like, oh, are you? We apologize. We'll work on that, and just like everyone just practiced Azir for like 2 weeks straight.
I mean, yeah. But I will say that honestly, that Silas for me won the draft. Like I think that generally speaking, their draft was good, but when Gnar got picked, I'm like, okay, what are they going to choose? They didn't do what most other teams have tried to do, where it's like, well, we'll use something else that can kind of do something similar, right?
You pick the Gangplank, or you pick the Gwen, like.
But this one instead, they said, well, we really wanted this ulti. We're just going to take the ulti.
Yeah. We kind of really wanted the Gnar ulti, so I'll just take the Gnar ulti without the drawback, please.
We did get to see the pony.
Yes.
Didn't do horrible, right?
No.
Decent.
I mean, as an AD carry, I never like seeing the pony in a game, but it's always terrifying. There's like no answer to something just charging at you at like Mach fuck you.
Mock Jesus.
But yeah. something's running at you at Mock, go fuck yourself, and you're just like, well, I don't stop him. I also don't kill him. Guess as an AD carry, I'm building, Frozen Heart. Great.
Yeah, pretty much. Hecarim makes it difficult to figure out what your front line is supposed to be, because it's one of those things of you're not going to stop Hecarim.
I love when
So-
I get to play Hecarim, just not when I play against it.
Dude.
Yeah. But it's like, you can stop everybody else. You can't stop Hecarim.
But congrats to 100 Thieves. They broke the 4-game losing streak. Obviously, they beat them already this split. But
Yeah.
they were 0-4 against Dig, and now they're 2-4 against Dig. Congrats to them. I started laughing because the Fogger draft you guys gave me was an Ornn Gangplank, and I was like, why the fuck would they want to do this? Now, granted, it was day 2, but in game 3, TSM versus TL was an Ornn Gangplank, and that was
Yeah.
on the Gangplank.
Yeah, why would they want to do that? They've done it before, but we won't. We won't discuss. Like you're like unfortunately correct for all the wrong reasons, but sure.
Yeah. I only won that because of an interview. I'll be honest.
I mean, you're on point for most of the other ones. So I gotta at least give you that. But
we got to see the Silas again.
yeah, it's like okay, now he has a Syndrel. Awesome, that's what he needed.
Partially, it locks him into only 3 balls to throw at people's faces.
Yeah.
3 balls still hurts pretty bad.
Yeah,
But-
he grew an extra ball to hit people in the face with. That's pretty scary. Not gonna
Pretty
lie.
sure that
Nice.
just means Silas's
All
cancer.
that coming.
So this was another one of those games. What Whippo just got beat up over and over and over. But
Yes.
it was the other side of the coin where Hantama, with his lethality build, beat up Jinx over and over and over. Solo looked...
Yeah.
Even though Solo was on Ornn, right? Ornn, you still have to be able to do something, whether it's like trying to stay even in lane, winning your lane, whatever you need to do on Ornn, like you have to be good at it. You can't just pick Ornn and be like, all right, we're going to win. Solo did good in his debut game. Unfortunately, it was on Ornn, but he did good into Whippo. Kept up.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
he
he
did
like
good.
led CS for almost the whole game against him, but it also
Yeah,
helps
he
when-
did. It started off, obviously favored towards the Gangplank a little bit. But then as more and more bodies kept getting thrown top lane, Whippo's CS declined for some reason. I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah, it's
know.
hard to see us
a weird
when you're in
feeling.
the gray screen. We saw that happen to Fudge too in game 1.
Well, there were several times actually that Fudge would sit there and go, oh well, Whippo's dead here. Before anything had happened, it's like, yeah, they're just gonna come right over there. They saw him. He's just gonna, yep, he's dead.
Yeah.
He's like, they're getting someone on the other side of the map, but like, he still died when he should
Yeah.
know that they're gonna be there.
Besides TL giving up on Whippo, the rest of their game plan was solid.
Yeah.
They attacked the Jinx very heavily. They kept that win condition out of there.
Well, they
Yep,
were.
and that was the more important win condition rather than the Ornn over the GV.
Yeah.
Well, really, what they're saying is, Whippo, have fun, weak side. We're not coming up there. You are ultimate weak side player right now.
He was.
You get no help.
ultimate. That and Whippo, what died so much, he went Predator Claw.
Oh, the Prowler's Claw?
Prow-
yeah.
Prowler. I keep calling
Lethality,
it Predator. Keep calling it Predator, but yeah, he went Prowler's Claw.
lethality
instead of-
Gangplank.
Yeah, instead of going the
Triforce or... Yeah.
So there's an adaptation. We keep talking about player adaptation on builds, right?
Not the one you want to see. That is not the one you want to see. I want to let you know now. When it's like mid-game, fuck this shit. That's not the adaptation you want.
And to be fair, against an Ornn, is lethality really going to do anything to him?
No, at that point, I think he's just trying to kill Jinx.
Yeah.
He's like, if I can do something if
Jinx
I just
and
blow
Viego.
that bitch
Those
up.
are his 2 targets.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they beat up on like there's a point where I went to the player cams and all Instinct could do was laugh after like one of his deaths. Like he's just what do you do? Absolutely nothing. He was like 0-5 and 6 whatever, but I had like 4 or 5 deaths. Like TL literally cut off the top side of the map and said, we're not even going to touch the Ornn. If the Ornn wants to leave his lane and go help the team, then we'll deal with him. But we ain't fucking going near that lane. Which a lot of teams don't do that. They're like, oh, there's an Ornn. We need to attack him. We need to delay his level 13 as much as possible. And
Yeah, and, I think that TL did have the correct idea, and that is, hey, it's okay. He can get all of the item, upgrades for his teammates that he wants. If they're too weak to use them, or if they don't even have their items, then what are they going to do about it?
yeah,
Guys, I'm level 14. I'm ready to upgrade your. How have you not bought your items yet? It's like,
yeah, when your 80 carry is like 2 to 3 items behind the enemy 80 carry, that upgrade might give you like within half of like you're now 1.5 items down.
Yeah, well, the Ornn upgrade is worth about 1,000 gold, no matter who you put it on.
Yeah.
It's about 1,000 gold worth of stats. But it was not enough to help out this poor Jinx.
Yeah, no.
She needed about 1,000 gold of defensive stats to do much of anything. So
Maybe twice that.
those stats just weren't there for it.
And then, so good job, TL. I mean, TL 100 Thieves, they did what they needed to do with their micro macro gameplay. They knew where the hell they needed to attack, what they needed to do to end it, and just have a decent day one.
Yep. No, I think that 100 Thieves played well and their opponents played poorly, so it made the game look even stronger for them. But I did want to, because I mentioned that on Discord at the time, I did think that they played that game well, and the draft was pretty intelligent.
And even though you don't want to pick them.
No, I don't.
Nope. He refuses to let him lose those points.
Which, speaking of drafts, right? GG CLG, first iteration of River on Golden Guardians. And what is that draft that they gave him to work with?
I have no words. I really don't.
Like, Dokla was a menace in the top lane. This was one of the this game.
This might have been
the 100 Thieves game. So it was like 2 of the 3 games. We got to see the top laner completely dominate and their team still win.
I feel like this was effectively the game. Like every team got the memo of like, oh, don't worry about top lane. You don't need it to win. And Dignitas read that and like, okay, we understand. And they didn't read the bottom like fine text that said, except for against CLG, just camp the fuck out of Dokla. They didn't read that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, Contracts was a monster on the Poppy. He seemed to be everywhere and anywhere.
I mean, a 5 kill of Poppy.
That'd be like
No
pre
joke,
20
terrifying.
minutes. Like,
Yeah, you're not killing it, not by any means. Like it's in your face.
Well, what did we think?
I think this was this one was the Yumi Sivir, wasn't it? From CLG.
Yes.
This was like
Yes, it was.
that's not even a bot lane you want to dive, but you have the
Right,
like,
adding to
Lucianami.
the impossible bot lane diving, right?
Yeah.
And in Golden Guardians, they're like Lucianami.
Well, let's start with they attempted the fake out
Yeah,
on
like,
Seraphine.
Like it means especially nothing against Sivir.
Yeah.
It means especially nothing. Like, she doesn't even have to interact with you at all. At all. To clear the wave.
Well,
And it's not like you get a lot of tower pressure
yeah.
off of her wave clear going through.
It was also unfair for Golden Guardians because CLG had a birthday buff, so they weren't
how
going to
that
win
works?
anyway. Yeah. Yankos won when it was his birthday. Poom won. It was his birthday. There's a birthday buff.
Poom got to play Yumi. I don't know if that's a happy birthday.
Dude, it is. Like, you get to actually have a day off on an official match day.
Well,
That's
it's
something.
super crazy too, right? Because the Lucianami would bag on it. They tried everything that they could to force their pressure in bot lane, which they almost like killed them quite a few times in bot.
I mean,
Like-
they
The Sivir's lucky she only had 2 deaths at around like 25 minutes. And the Yumi's lucky she didn't die because there were multiple times that Yumi should have got roasted.
Yeah.
And the bot lane, this is where it becomes super rough and you hate it as an AD carry when your support has 4 of the kills.
Yes.
I've never been in that
Not
position
me.
before.
I didn't do nothing.
But not only 4 of the kills, but 4 of the kills on a
on Nami.
on Nami of all things.
She doesn't
Like-
get tankier. She's not doing more damage. She just has more support items.
The only thing that she's doing for Lucian is giving her own electrocute more damage by leveling. That's it.
Yeah. So, the Golden Guardians went in with their plan, and they executed it to an extent. The issue is just the top half, the LeBlanc, Poppy, Yone versus Gnar, Viego, Seraphine.
Dude,
Just-
that Yone was pretty darn well played.
Yeah,
At least
this
it's one of the better ones that we've
He-
seen in the LCS for sure.
It was him making up for the other one because he also had.
He did
what,
have
a
that
Jensen
He had a
trap
bad
one.
one.
Yeah.
He had a Jensen moment on the Yone,
He
and
had a-
then second game he proved, I can actually play this.
But it was really cool to see 2 champions with a similar play style in the same comp. It worked out extremely well. Did you see how many times there, towards the middle of the game, they would use the mobility from Yone or LeBlanc to dish out some serious chunk damage on someone, and then they'd revisit that while they were still around, because they're just waiting for their abilities to refresh to do it again. That happened a lot, where it was LeBlanc and Yone just consistently tagging people.
Yeah.
And the Yumi would attach to whoever it was that was doing it next.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so it's like you just get more damage for that burst that you're doing, and then you just backed off again. It was actually really good. That one was also good to see, I thought.
Yeah, the
I
top
think it's-
half definitely played a lot better than the bottom half for CLG this week.
And I do think that speaks very well with them going into the season that they play a comp like this that in my opinion requires a lot of cooperation and a lot of
Yep.
like communication and to do well on it. Like that speaks well going into the later halves, like
Yeah.
later parts of the
Well,
season.
and this is kind of what we talked about, right? With any of the teams, like if you get to a point where you were like just stomping and all of a sudden you're struggling, or you're struggling at the beginning, instead of having 3 lanes that have to win for you to win, just drop it down a lane. Go with 2, go with 1, and in this one they're like, okay, Sivir can carry, but we're not requiring her to carry. You just need to survive and stay even with the Lucian, and we'll get the other 2 lanes going. Because Contracts was a monster, like hands down, Contracts MVP of this game. With how he was able to set up and get Dokla and Palafox to those positions.
Yep. And I also wanted to touch on that a little bit too. I think that he needs to be on more tanks.
Rather than like the carries like
Because
for the
Like
Even in this one, right? If he was not on Poppy but on something else, there was a play in mid lane that he would have 100% just died on if he was on a different champion.
yeah, if he had the Viego.
But he had steadfast presence. He kicks it on, gets a little bit more movement speed, and he's okay.
Yep.
Um,
Well, in some of those ganks, like Contract said, he's like with the Poppy, because you go Hex Flash, he's like there's so many walls that just don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
He's like in a normal game, he's like you're gonna get flamed and be like, why the hell did you flash this wall? He's like, but you know, in a pro game and having Hex Flash, it's like, you know, you're a god for flashing that wall.
Yeah.
so, you know, and I also do want to ask like the question here, and maybe it's just my, you know, me not understanding it, and it's very possible. The heavy index by Gnar into armor. I understand you look at Yone and you're like, oh, build armor, like auto attacks, what have you. But if I recall correctly, does Yone's passive not distribute his
It's like 50-50.
damage 50-50?
Yeah, Yone is fairly 50-50. He
Yeah.
does a
But then you've
little
also
bit
got Sivir as well.
more damage.
But you're not getting beat up by the Sever.
Well, you're expecting to later on. So if you index now, then it makes her useless.
Yeah.
Because she's not even going to get rid of any of the armor anyway. So whatever you buy is going to be much stronger, and it's really expensive for her to get her first 2 items.
Yeah. The other thing that I'm noticing too, especially with some of these top teams, is the damage profiles against Gnar. Because when people
Yeah.
pick Gnar, everybody's like, okay, armor, like 80, and Gnar just armors up and virtually becomes unkillable. But when you can have like a good mix, like the Yone and the LeBlanc, to be fair, probably a little bit of Poppy, he's just like, what the fuck do I build?
Yeah. I feel like he has to index. He does have to index into either one. He doesn't have the benefit of being able to take both because he builds Triforce, right? Like he's not gonna build a tanky, you know, mythic item. So he pretty much has to index into one. It's just questionable on whether or not he would have been better off in the state that the game was, with Sivir getting kind of pushed around the way she was, indexing something into mitigating LeBlanc and Poppy. Because
I believe that Poppy is still
Yone
mostly
difficult.
physical damage, though.
I think she's heavily CC, but I do believe like
Yeah, I think it's more. But she probably has like a splash of.
Yeah.
Her Q I think is actually health based.
Yes, it is health based, but I think it does physical damage.
But I don't know. He picked it, and again, as I said, it could be just my misunderstanding. It's just curious on whether like would he have been less prone to being bullied out? Maybe. But,
It's hard to say.
and that's just looking at the okay. You know, yes, I get the index into armor. Sivir's not as useful later on against you in particular, but the Sivir was already kind of pushed around. She didn't even build Berserker's Greave this game. She's not building to kill you. She built the Dash Mythic instead, the
Gale Force.
Gale Force instead of the Kraken. So it's like, but I think he just decided to go. I think if he had gone with just the Ninja Tabbies and then moved on to something either aggressive or even, you know, mitigated some MR in there, might have done a little better.
So I was actually super curious, right? About Poppy's damage profile, so I looked it up. So the Q is health based. Her steadfast presence is 100% magic damage if she can get someone to dash in it.
pink off of it.
Uh-huh.
The dash.
Her if the person moves, like
Heroic
tries to
charge.
flash or something during steadfast presence, it's magic damage. Her heroic charge is physical, and Keeper's Verdict is physical.
Yeah.
So
So,
the only way you truly get magic damage out of Poppy is if you decide to like hop or dash or flash while inside her steadfast presence, which is crazy.
You can flash, you just can't dash. I don't know. I just think he was kind of doomed at the beginning here. They needed to do something. Again, I feel like they've missed the memo of, hey, you probably should still focus Dokla.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the first item that he went for after Triforce was kind of worth it. I understand he was trying to like mitigate crits because that's essentially all that really does and slows the target. But the issue, like we said, Yone is split, you know,
Yeah.
between the physical and magic. And he went Bloodthirster first item, so he's not necessarily in the crit style of build quite yet. It's not till like second or third item. So,
Immortal Shield Bow, but yeah.
Immortal Shield Bow, yeah.
I mean, same thing.
Yeah,
Same
I
thing, just better.
just think him trying to reduce the attack speed was a little questionable and
so
reduce crits.
also
Yeah.
on that note, I will say the reason Zeri is so strong is Immortal Shield Bow actually does have crit on it.
Mhm.
It is crit based on Immortal Shield Bow now. That's why Zeri built it now over the Triforce, and then straight into the IE. So he was pretty crit heavy. But yeah. But it was just a Dokla show, which is, Dokla in contracts having a good time, which CLG looks the best when they get to do that.
Yep.
So
And,
I don't think I ever watch a CLG game and be like, I wonder.
I thought that Palafox played a decent game as well.
I think Palafox
Yeah.
in the last few weeks has been playing really well. The Azir game was phenomenal.
Yeah.
The LeBlanc game was, he did what he needed to do. I don't
Yep.
think
He did what he needed to do, and
Yeah.
he didn't get randomly picked.
he needs to have his Yone redemption game since everybody's getting one. Because
Or you just give it to Dokla. Let's not.
he screwed up.
Yeah.
Well, no, because Jensen was the first one to do it, right? And then Dokla
Yeah.
did it. And since Palafox severely,
Oh yeah. No,
got
it was.
embarrassed by EG when he picked it,
Yeah.
he needs to have his redemption game now. Not taking it away from Dokla. He played great, did what he needed to do, essentially kind of won him the game. But now we need that out of Palafox. I just want to see it happen. I want everybody who's played it to have like a redemption Yone game.
Just be like, no, I can't play the champion. It's fine.
Because
I
as
would
we
have
talk
been
about Yone redemption games, I feel so bad for Revenge.
Oh God. Yeah.
The EG Immortals game, dude. He played that. Oh man, dude, so feels so bad for the man. He did everything he needed to do, like twice
Except
over. Yeah, except for winning, like picking off Danny, getting the key moment picks, but it just Immortals just flubbed in the team fight.
Yep. Reminds me how things went for them today too. That's oof.
I think this is a very good testament. I was saying it earlier that I feel like Immortals right now is playing like well above what we were seeing at the beginning of the split when they were getting perfect gamed almost.
Yeah.
So they're playing, above that, and they're in a position right now where if they continue to play like this, there is a world in which they make their way into playoffs, and I think that it's good to see from them. They just need to be able to close those games. I think if they had beaten EG, people would have looked pretty heavily at TSM and Golden Guardians, some of the other ones on the lower half. Be like, are they gonna come for your spot right now?
Yeah.
But they got to close those out. You don't
because they
You don't get points
They
for
were so
almost winning a
close.
game.
They were
Yeah,
so
right.
realistically, if they closed them out like they should have, they probably are 2-0 this week against probably the
Of-
two hardest games that we have right now, consistently.
So,
Yeah, I mean, like I said in the DMs, that was just a sad victory for EG.
Yeah,
Like,
you won. You don't feel good about it.
Yeah, that's like regardless of how well Danny played, he was so getting picked on and getting killed constantly. JoJo had some, mess ups. I think Inspired went a little too ham a couple times too.
yep. It was at this moment that EG realized it does not feel good to be a standard 100 Thieves team.
Yeah. And once again, another game this season determined on who it was Elder, right? Who can take
Yep.
Elder, and then you just win the game right after taking it.
Yep. Who screws up?
Yeah.
And it was Immortals this game.
But it's at this day that EG found out they are not immortal.
Yeah.
But
Well,
bad luck. I hope they take it as a we could have lost that game. Play better.
Should have lost that game. That's
Do better.
yeah.
So, like you take it as a well, at least we didn't drop a game, but guys, we need to make sure we're not like they're in a good spot.
Like Immortals had so many good picks around that freaking Baron spawning too. Immortals were looking so good. You can definitely tell. Yes, they didn't have their full roster. Now that they have their full roster, they are looking better. So I'm really hoping they're seeing that. And regardless of if they make playoffs or not,
you want to see them not throw everything
next year.
Dude, that's what I just want to see from a bunch of teams. Can you guys just keep people for another year? Like
there are specific teams that like I hope to God they don't just
please. TL is the one right now. Please just don't. Look, it's not looking good right now. That's fair.
He expects TL to be gutted after this season.
Oh, I expect it too. I expect it too, but it
does show you super teams are a very hard thing to pull off.
I want to say the last like super team that was like this is unbelievable and they're playing like they should was probably Alliance, and that was a while ago over in LEC.
G2, that's
G2,
it.
you feel like
G2 with caps and perks and
Windows caps perks.
But I feel like
that was the dream year, dude.
But I feel like G2 kind of cultivated a lot of that. That wasn't just we just put together like every good player we could find.
Well, but they did.
So
that is what they did. Like that's why perks like I'll go to bot lane so I can have the other best mid laner on my team.
Yeah.
And I'll just kill people down here anyways. It's not gonna matter.
I'll just
I'll still
roles.
play the Syndra. I'll still play the Yasuo, which that started the mage bot lanes.
Yeah.
But Alliance was I think kind of considered one of the first organizations to try to put together a super team.
Yeah.
So it's tough because both of them were European teams. It wasn't NA teams creating super teams, and they were pretty much successful in what they needed to do. But when NA does it, everybody decides to stop playing.
I mean, there've been a lot of super teams in Europe that have failed, to be fair. There's only been like a couple super teams that have actually truly worked out.
Yeah, but that's more than NA, so.
I mean, that's true.
By that logic, though, Jace should not exist. So, just because it doesn't work in NA doesn't mean it doesn't work for other people.
Yeah.
NA's prolific.
I'm sure
like, we can do that, and they can't.
I'm sure if we wanted to, LECs or LCKs probably had a couple super teams. LPL.
They have.
LCK is like a super region, so it's
and actually
LPL
has a super team right now that's horrifically underperforming.
Well, and RNG was a huge super team too for a while.
Yeah.
So they've been out there. It works in other regions. I have not seen one dominate the way it should in NA.
Yeah, the closest we got was Immortals,
So,
Yeah, and now we
their
have
first
this
iteration,
Immortals.
and
which
then they
feels
just
bad to say
could
this
not,
season.
and they could
Right.
not win in
They
playoffs
couldn't.
ever.
So
But congrats to EG for weathering the storm, I guess, and
For
you
sure.
only
giving
had to get a
us-
500 CS Jinx. No
giving us
judgment
our
there.
like longest game of the split, just to win off of an Elder. So sad. So sad. And thank you, Immortals, for faltering, giving me a perfect day one. Dude,
Unfair.
do you know how sweaty I was watching all of these games just unfold, and how truly, like, half of these teams should not have actually won?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know, I think after the first day this week, I kind of just said fuck it and didn't care anymore. So
When you take TSM, which, to be fair, we did say Team Liquid is a 1-1 team. That we have.
I
Not
think if any team that
yet-
can drop a random game TL is definitely the teams that
Yeah,
drop a
we
random
can't
game.
Yeah,
yet
no. It
find
was
a
close.
2-0
It was
for
it was
TL.
at the start. I was like, this is weak, man.
Oh, you're cutting it
So-
out, sir.
Yeah, that was.
My bad.
rough.
Is this
Yeah.
any better?
So yes,
Okay. I was just saying
Pen-
that yeah.
Penland came close with a nice 4-1. He just took Flyquest over Cloud9, which, as we saw, Flyquest had a chance. It's just
Yeah.
Berserker popped off.
Well, Berserker popped off, and they forgot that they were dealing with Olaf.
And I think Sven kept his
Oof.
deaths under like 5, which is normally a good victory sign for Cloud9.
He successfully stayed away from the enemy.
Yeah.
Good job.
You know how sad
Oh.
it is that that's one of our standards right now.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean, he played Nautilus and got a win on it, but right now I'm pretty sure it's Nautilus and Yumi are like his best seen champions at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying, the way Berserker played this week, I don't think it would have mattered what support he was on.
No, the way Berserker is playing like at all, it definitely makes the let's move Sven aside seem worth it. Like this kid effectively is just
He's so strong. He's so fucking good.
unbelievable in a team fight. Like just if I'm the other team, just don't give him Zeri at
In fact, don't let him play. Kidnap him before LCS starts.
So you know how Berserker lost his visa?
Yeah.
We've now misplaced our Berserker. So
Exactly.
sucks.
All you had. Oh, is that how it works? You just go ahead and change his name. You're no longer Berserker. You are now Visa, and he will just never find his way back to the stage again.
Jesus. Yeah,
Perfect.
no, Berserker is nuts. I'd be hard pressed for anyone to tell me that there's currently an 80 carry in the league that's playing better than him. Like
'Cause
just
there's not.
looking at
The
there's
only
just-
one I
there's
would
just
say
not.
would be Danny. And the only reason people
Yeah.
would say Danny is because Danny is also worked on his other side of the game of
Yes.
like not just fully focusing on kills, but his map awareness, positioning. Granted, revenge
I
tore
will
his
give-
positioning apart in that game, but
Yone does that. But and to Danny, I will give him one thing. He has worked on a lot of the champions and the play styles that like I criticized him pretty heavily for in the MSI. Where I'm like, these champions you seem to not be able to play at the same level as like don't get me wrong, your Jinx is terrifying, but your Ezreal is garbage. This season his Ezreal has looked really strong. Now Ezreal's not as strong, and he's like, you get to play Jinx. He's like,
Yeah.
fuck yes, thank you. So
yeah,
If there's any one thing that Danny could learn from Berserker, it's positioning at every stage of the game instead of portions.
it's kind of like
if you're dying,
holding those abilities until because Berserker
right
showed
time.
that. Yeah, Berserker showed that so
That-
well against that Tauros.
that Yeah, that Tarek is like,
Cause,
okay, well,
because
yeah,
I feel
okay,
Danny
hold on.
would have hopped over, and before the Tarek ulti finished, he would have popped ulti, and then just kind of wasted away his, damage against a shield.
Well, it's not even. It's like, and the fact that like he had maneuvered the wall, he got back over the wall, put himself in a 1v3, and put him in a position where he negated one person out of that, got the kill he needed, and then moved from there. Realized, okay, he's Zonya's. I need to focus you, get you down, because if the Talia comes out of Zonya's before you're dead, this is probably like just the awareness of those like what he needs to do. Is really like that effectively what got it. That was a very deserved pentakill.
No, it was. It was incredibly deserved, and once again, this out of everything that C9 picked up, Berserker and the Controversy were definitely the greatest things they picked up.
Yeah.
So, yay, day one where everybody followed seed. Fuck, no upsets at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Congratulations.
Yeah, actually. Congrats to me.
Yep.
5-0. But I mean, as we saw before, I'm really good at guessing day one anyway. So
yeah,
is it really that impressive? What did become impressive, because I was since I didn't watch any of the games, so hopefully you guys can talk about it more. I'm gonna have it like rolling in the background so I can kind of see some stuff while we talk about them.
Can't say I've done that. So all right.
But I've started feeling really good seeing that first game go down. TSM Golden Guardians. I mean, you guys fell into the shit. He picked TSM. We all got to go Golden Guardians because my day 2 picks are trash.
Well, it wasn't even just that. We had no clue Solo was going to show up.
In my defense, I was following the TSM is playing like trash card. In my defense.
Yeah. We did talk about that before too. We didn't know any of these changes were happening before the picks. Like these changes happen like midweek.
Yeah.
But it looks like Golden Guardians had like a chance. Like TSM didn't look very clean in what I'm seeing.
No.
Like Maple getting caught by like all the freaking CC was hilarious to see.
But like, I'm curious about this Cinepic and how long we're going to continue to see it. I think Sever breaks apart Senna pretty heavily.
Yeah.
And so like if Sever's going to become more of a pick, we might see less of the Senna, especially when there's better options out there, in my opinion. Jinx, I know Zeri's like a perma ban, pretty much. Philios is even a good pick.
80 carries were even picked before. So Kalista was banned, Lucian was banned, Zeri was banned, Seraphine was banned because Golden Guardians took Seraphine beforehand. So Jinx was still available.
Philios was still an option. I don't think Tom Kinch was banned, and I think that's a lot of like what teams are hesitant to do is pick a Philios without some kind of defense there. I think Braum and
I also don't like the Corki.
Tom Kinch.
After Corki got his changes, we stopped seeing him for a reason. And I think this kind of showed I hope this showed that there was a reason why we stopped seeing the Corki.
Yeah. It is fun to see the Bard. I do always love me some Bard play.
Well, and that Bard was really well played. Like
like
he's named Chime for a reason, and he showed it. Like his ults were insane. Okay.
I think there was a dive in bot lane. He got a double kill early on. Like Bard's not typically a champion. You're like, oh, that's terrifying to turret dive without his ult being available. But it was like pre-6, and he's just like, oh no, I just gonna outplay you here, and you're just gonna have to live with that being a fact. And he took a double kill. It's like that's terrifying.
So this Poppy at 17 minutes was 0-3.
Yes. You win some, you lose some.
River.
I also think Zen is a very underrated jungler at the moment. I feel like there's a lot of junglers who have not moved towards this pick, but I would expect the meta moving forward to move towards a Zen, Hecarim, Wukong, Poppy, just in general on all those.
Yeah.
Like I don't see Poppy going anywhere at all, but I think Zen's just a effective pick, and he buys you so much time in the late game.
Give me a
So-
different mid laner for Golden Guardians. Like,
Not Corki?
like not
Not
saying
a Corki.
like get rid of a Blaze. Get rid of this fucking Corki.
The Corki pickup was very weird. Like you picked him because he had really good scaling, really good damage. That was exactly what they nerfed.
Yeah, because you don't even go the AP item anymore. You go,
So
which he went Gale Force. So it's like,
Yeah.
what?
Wait,
did
you
feel
went
bad.
Gale Force on
Yeah.
Corki?
Yeah,
Yes.
Corki.
Because-
I think primarily
Why?
it's Gale Force on Corki now.
Mm,
Because
That seems-
they nerfed the AP
Yeah.
scaling super
well,
It-
right,
hard.
but it still seems weird to go with.
That over Triforce.
Yeah.
Or even Kraken.
Because like,
or Immortal, or I
Like
feel
if-
like there are better options.
yeah,
I don't-
like,
I
I
don't know-
I don't like that option on Corki specifically. You already have a.
I think
dash.
the last Corki after the changes also went Gale Force. So I guess stock standard build is Gale Force Corki.
It seems.
If your
Bad.
stock standard is already bad for your champion, it's probably just like just a not
Maybe you just
favorable
drop
meta
the champion,
position.
like-
Yeah. It's just not a good pick. so-
Because I guess the issue is, right, Corki's effective range is short. Sometimes he has tanks he's into, sometimes he doesn't have tanks he's into. If he has tanks that he's into, then hip hip hooray, you can, build your old scaling Corki like you used to, right? But I guess they're just afraid of getting comboed now.
Well, what I like Gale Force for though is champions who want to dictate team fights and have a lot of ability to kind of move around. It gives them another kind of outplay mechanic
Yeah.
or a safety mechanic. I don't think Corki needs a safety mechanic because the idea behind the champion is these long range rockets, very poke heavy. It just doesn't play into that play style.
Alright, so how badly did they nerf? I didn't think they nerfed it that bad. on the ratio.
So Corki falls into a very similar line that Ezreal does when Ezreal receives Q nerfs to like flat out damage, and you just see Ezreal just no longer picked. It falls into that same line of just like, well,
So
don't
it's
play the
just-
champion then.
It was just it's nerfed, so we're not going to do it. Like I would think that like after buffs to like if you're worried about it, right, and you're still trying to poke, you can still use them to poke. You'd have to go into a different build. You're probably looking at
If you
crap.
did maybe a
What is it?
Triforce into a
Well-
rapid fire, I think would be a better option.
You could, or you could go for the because they stack now. You could go for the item that leaves the dot over time.
Leandries?
You could look at Leandries as being a possibility on Corki.
So Corki, which is kind of weird because this one's not a nerf, but his Gatling gun 80 ratio went from 10% to 15%.
Which
but
is
his-
Funny because it was already one of the hardest hitting abilities. Like,
but
if
his
it
missile
hit the-
barrage, the R, which is where all of the damage comes from.
Right.
The original base values were 90 to 160, with a 15 to 75% AD ratio and a plus 20% AP ratio. It
And
got
nerfed down
changed to 80 to 150, so 10 points for base damage.
on base.
15 to 75% for the AD, so the AD stayed, and it went to 12% AP ratio.
So yeah, it's about a half.
Lost
cut,
what 8%?
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which completely took him out of being played.
So
I mean,
I think it just means there's better build options, and I don't think
I mean, because at this point, then that would probably make Talia a better poke champion almost than Corki.
it makes a lot of champions. It's not making. It doesn't make Corki a
Was
bad
Talia
champion.
banned in this game? Question mark.
It makes other
Talia.
champions more
Golden
inviting.
Guardians banned it.
So it just does. It definitely makes other champions more inviting than Corki. It doesn't make Corki like impossible to play.
Well, it's just you look at
But-
what else he gives you, right? And that's what you kind of try to base some of this stuff on.
Yeah,
And it just-
yeah, unfortunately, because of that AP ratio reduction on his rockets, it that's how drastic
I don't know. Like
it was.
I just feel like if you're picking Corki, and you have to itemize into basically a second dash with damage and crit attached to it, I think
you've already lost.
I think you've lost.
Yeah.
So I guess the big oof question on this: would you rather have seen a victor in this position?
No.
No, even still.
No.
Like-
I still would not want to see the victor.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see either
Even though the
of these
victor could
champions.
help with the Xin Zhao, I don't think it's going to help with the Gnar or the Azir or the Sivir or the Bard. The Bard was just playing way too well for the victor to be any use.
Yeah.
I don't know who I would have preferred. I just don't want the Corgi. Dude, maybe a Silas. Have fairly decent ultis.
Yeah, you're into a Gnar. Take
You're
Take
into the
Silas.
Gnar, you already have a Gwen Poppy going in and a Sejuani going in, and you're getting, essentially healed up by the Senna.
Bard
as-
is the
as
only thing that
everybody's
makes any
dying.
of this kind of weird because, like,
Yes.
ideally you want to outrange Bard.
And I
because-
think that's
Ideally.
yeah. Which-
It's like I feel like you have to have a mid laner that's working outside effective
is-
melee range.
Which is funny because the Bard was 5th pick blue side. So
Yeah.
they didn't even know about the Bard before they picked the Corki. Because Corki was first within the first 3 picks. For
yeah,
that side.
yeah. We were just talking about if it was in there, right?
Yeah.
What would be better? That's rough. Like
Yeah.
the Bard throws off a lot of what you would probably
That
standardly answer
and-
with right now.
And at the same time, I think Golden Guardians have a rough read on the meta. Granted, Gwen, late game. If you can get to late game, Gwen has stayed even. She's not horribly behind. She can run through a team late game. Like her
Yeah.
early game essentially got destroyed, but she's still a monster late game. And we've got to see twice from Fudge's Gwen and Licorice's Gwen. You get behind, you're useless.
Yep.
But as a Gnar, even if you get behind, you still have a utility that can change the game fight, immensely. And they didn't take the Gnar in the first 3 picks.
Yep.
They gave it over after. Was the Gnar first pick? Gnar was first pick.
No, Gnar was picked.
unfortunately.
Gnar was
third
picked
pick.
3rd on the blue side.
Yeah, so they gave it over for. Granted, the Poppy. I think TSM outdrafted Golden Guardians in this.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because we probably would have seen TSM with the Poppy if Golden Guardians took the
Yeah.
Gnar. But you get
I mean,
2
I'm-
picks. You get 2 picks. So take the Poppy Gnar, actually. Hey, they got drafted hard in this game.
Yeah.
The mind games from the draft completely screwed over Golden Guardians.
I mean,
in
and
this
the thing is this, right? I don't think that Golden Guardians lost the draft hard enough that they couldn't have possibly won.
Yeah, because from the looks of it, from skimming through the game, Golden Guardians kept it relatively competitive for the first 10 minutes.
But like they made the game infinitely harder for themselves. And so it's like one of those things of how many chances does the other team have to fuck up and not lose? How many chances do you have to fuck up and not lose? And they had a very few amount of chances.
Yeah, who knows? Good job, TSM, for
Yep.
mind fucking Golden Guardians in the draft. Good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Golden Guardians, please.
You
don't
got
get
me
caught
4
or
points.
Corky.
I'll take it. No complaints for me.
Oh man.
And
That's
then
what he's concerned about here.
Fuck yeah, bro! I was tied for last place with Daisy before this weekend.
Now I am the undisputed king of the bottom of the
No, you're
pack.
not.
Take that.
No, you're not. I'm tied with you. I know.
Daisy's
I know
like,
the point about
fuck.
you. Son. Yeah.
My identity. No.
Game 2,
My identity.
EG Fly. This is the one you guys were talking about with Jose Dioto's Bronzie play.
Dude, this game,
Made me sad.
it should have been Fly's win. I really feel that this was definitely their game to win.
You know, I mean, I don't. Not a fan of the Lee Sin pick at the moment.
I'm not
Just
either.
really not.
Like I think we had touched on it once before, where I said I thought Lee Sin is in a pretty bad spot, like overall.
He
Like
just
sure,
doesn't
he still
do-
does what Lee Sin does, which is he gives you the opportunity to like ignore an entire team and kick one person towards yours. But does that currently win you the game?
No.
And I think that
Obviously
it definitely depends on like your situation, right? But I don't think you can pick Lee Sin as early as they did in a game.
Dude, tell
Like-
me Philip was a monster on the Aatrox again.
Dude, he was though.
Was he? Son of a bitch.
So yeah, people do need to be kind of cautious about Phillips. Aatrox.
I mean, even not just his Aatrox, but even day one, his Jax was pretty damn good. He's stepping up.
Yeah, no, I
He's stepping up while Jose's falling down.
yeah. That's my problem right now. But
Well,
I mean, that was
as
what I
Philip
said
rises, Jose falls.
before. Like
Or
as
Jose
I said
flashes into
before.
a monkey and gets his ass beat. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Jose gets the monkey's ass.
Pretty much, effectively. It's like,
So my question is, so this is Danny's first Callista. Watching him play, for whoever watched it, did we get to see why he hasn't picked the Callista? Was it mediocre? Was it like whatever?
It was fine.
I don't think you're writing home being like, oh, never let him play this champion again. But
Oh shit! I just saw him get caught on a ward.
I will say, like, dude had at say 20 minutes, the dude did have a death to his name, but he was far enough ahead in gold from just lane pressure.
Yeah.
Gaining gold, as well as like I think it was a very minuscule CS difference, but like he did have a bounty just off of the map pressure he was able to do, which is not something you usually attest to Danny.
I mean,
But was it mechanical god? No.
I mean, but I do think that a lot of that was the rest of the team.
Yeah.
Making the right rotations, because I still hate the Sejuani pick.
Top lane? Don't like it?
No, I do not like it.
Okay, well this might. I'm up to here because I actually love it. So.
Well, because the issue that I have with it, like in this game especially, impact looks really questionable on it. I feel like if your ultis have impact, if your stuns have impact, then I think that hip hooray, good pick. But I've seen impact on Sejuani a lot.
I feel like the third, maybe fourth game.
Yeah, he's had quite a few, but like the reasons I like this
not look good.
The reasons I like the Sejuani pick. Now, do I attest that like it's always good and that everybody needs to play it? No, I think there are definitely better games on Sejuani, and there's definitely bad games on Sejuani. but like I feel like it is a more effective and better Gragas, and it's feeling that it doesn't have that disengage or the disruption of his ult, but does have the very heavy like screw that target. It does not help in a meta where a lot of AD carries are taking cleanse.
I'm just seeing too many
But-
R's miss, dude. Like on
Like-
targets they should not miss on, and I
So,
like what they try to
that's-
do with it, how they try to play around it in top lane is so
As
weird.
as an old school
So you can't
jungle
hold that against
Sejuani,
Sejuani. You can't hold
It's
that
hard.
against Sejuani. You can't hold that against Sejuani. You can hold
no,
it against
but
players.
but I mean, but that comes back to what we were saying before. Like I'd be like, well, this pick should be able to slot in. It should work well. Like, well, it hasn't. We've looked at it so many different times that maybe they just need to try another pick, or maybe they need to tell top laners, I don't know, like try. And like, oh, okay, well,
What I would like to
Alright.
see top laners do, like Impact, who is picking this champion and wants to play this playstyle, but it seems to be struggling to perform on it, is a much more consistent pick that does a very similar thing, which is Zac, and we've seen it a couple of times.
Yeah.
I think Duel's better in the top lane.
and
Has
that's
a lot more sustain in the top lane. His engage is a lot more
reliable.
reliable. Now, unfortunately, it's not like a Zac jungle where you're engaging from red buff into, the enemy blue buff.
Yeah, but like where you
but-
can go from, like in terms of vision, what you get to work around is so much better.
Yeah.
And you don't open yourself up to the obvious counter picks as well. Like the enemy could just play Trundle jungle, regardless of whatever is being brought against him, and he'll be
Sure.
fine because Sejuani still exists.
So,
But like, I don't know. It's just I feel like when they were debating between the two, I still think that the same thing I thought back then, which is that Zac would be a better top laner.
I do. I agree that, like, especially these players who are
And it's easier to
struggling find
execute.
success, Zac
like-
might be a better pickup. I don't think there's a world in which I would say please play Zac into Aatrox, but I don't think
No.
I'd say play.
I
Sejuani
wouldn't
into
I wouldn't play
Aatrox.
Sejuani and Aatrox either. That looks
so-
incredibly hard.
Maybe not play
Like-
it into the particular player who is known for beating the shit out of people with Aatrox.
But I mean, I just within this game, I did not like the pick. Did not like the pick.
So outside of the Sejuani, I would say from what you guys were saying earlier about Daniel's Kalista, it's not a pocket pick. That's like we held
No.
this for so long.
It's
gonna
just-
do great.
If we want Callista in this composition, he can play it.
Yeah, it's very much it's a meta pick. He's able to play it. Don't just exclude it out because he hasn't played it. But I wouldn't say it's something to fear. No.
Yeah.
I would be much more terrified of his Jinx and some of his hyper carries than I am of his Callista.
Which was the Jinx band?
I don't think it was. I
was
think
not.
This was just they wanted to do this particular.
Yeah,
round.
because I don't think that I honestly think that
I
Jinx
was
might
just
have had a hard
wondering if
game.
the Jinx was banned
Yeah.
or not.
Jinx
It was
does
just
not wanna play
Zeri
Val,
and
sorry.
Seraphine that were banned, by the way. So
Yeah.
pretty much free reign for AD carries.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
gotta see that horrible Jose Diodo engage.
Yeah. So now you're just kind of seeing like he flashed
When
the
I
wall.
said
to
I
Cole.
watched it, and was like, oh man. All right, well, that sealed it. That was just it.
That just seemed like a bad decision.
Yeah,
on-
once he got the clone, he needed to just be done.
Yeah.
he needed to accept the fact that he was on Lee Sin and just
He's
off
but
the
he
turret.
invested so much.
lost objectives, lost his flash,
Lost
respect.
almost all of his HP. Like,
No, he lost all of it. He died.
oh, he did die. Yeah.
No,
'Cause he was getting away initially. Someone else killed him, right?
No, he
Wukong
flashed
flash
back in.
W'd. Yeah, flash
Okay,
W.
Flash W. Okay.
Yeah.
I will say, fun fact,
Flash
if you're
W.
gonna be willing to play Lee Sin, Wukong is just the better pick. If you want to
Yeah.
play Lee Sin, Xin Zhao is just a better pick. Um, just don't play the Lee Sin.
If you want to
right
play
now.
Lee Sin, just play the Trundle.
Like
Trundle would have been a better pick.
like there are 2 regions where specific players will still pick the Lee Sin.
Yeah, like LCK.
LCK and LPL, right? They're like, all right. But outside of those players, you know who else is playing Lee Sin? Nobody. A giant amount of nobody, because they're like, yeah, we know that it's not going to work out for us. But you have some teams that are still willing to pick it because the person is so well versed on executing that combo.
They
like,
spent so much time in it. It's like I want to use it.
We feel confident that he's going to get the valuable kick, regardless of the fact that he won't bring anything else to this team.
To attest to the state in which I think Lee Sin is in, I would have rather have seen Viego.
Yep,
And I think this would have been a rough Viego
how
game.
do you feel about Viego?
Yeah, it's bad because I like Viego as a champion. I
Shoot,
just
you want to play
seems very weak.
Lee Sin? Play Hecarim, like Blabber did.
Yeah, there you go. There's a
against
better Lee
TL.
Sin for sure.
I don't know if they accomplished the same feat, but sure.
I mean, you
Yeah,
get a
they
charge
do.
behind
He
someone and
walks
knock
right
them into the
through
team.
your team,
Yeah.
grabs the carry, and drags them back towards your team.
And then you get to fear everybody. Like, it's like the same as knocking people up, right? With the Lee Sin kick.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, I've got
so
the Cloud9
less
and
execute
TL
heavy.
game up, and I just saw Hecarim go behind TL's tower and just knock the carry into his bot lane.
Yeah.
So you
So,
can't
yeah.
can't do that without 6 on Lee Sin. Just saying.
I don't like the Lee Sin pick. There's so many in a world where there's so many better picks.
Yeah.
Don't pick it.
So as we finish up EG for this week, my question is, with how questionable they've played the past couple weeks, is it more teams are getting better and accustomed to playing with them, so they're kind of seeing what's happening, or do you think it's EG struggling?
You know, I've been thinking about this for a little bit now. If we go off of what Jojo Punit said, right? Where he's like, yeah, no, teams just really, really, really suck. It's possible that they really haven't improved much over the course of the split. That the EG hasn't, because there's literally no one to drive them forward to improve. So it's possible that finally teams are starting to get decent enough to where you're seeing more holes exposed in EG's play, because up until now, no one's been in a real position to, show that those even exist. Because I can't really say that they really did anything different or played anything super differently over these past couple games.
I don't feel like EG's playing worse, even though it seems like they are, because they're taking more gold deficits in games. They're not looking as controlled in their games.
Do you think it's more taking risks to try to push the boundaries of what they can do?
No.
No.
No,
No way.
they've just stayed pretty stagnant in their play style and said,
Yeah.
okay, you guys figure out something to genuinely stop us from doing this. We're going to continue to do it. I will say, it is kind of nice seeing them try different things like the Callista that we haven't seen.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the reason these games are this close, because I would not say, oh, this game was close because Danny was on Callista. No.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a superstar performance, but there were issues that showed themselves and existed that had nothing to do with Callista.
I don't want to see them fall into the same pattern as 100 Thieves, where it's like, well, we won because Lee Sin flashed a wall into our fucking Wukong and he beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
But in these long games where there's not a whole lot to play for, sometimes that's the answer. It's like, okay, well, we just play for our game. You did not play for your game. We punish you on it. We win.
It's why I wish that we could get just enough in terms of like better performances out of the lower tier teams. It'd be nice if when they have a win, they can at least progress towards it. You know, it would be good. Working on closing out games is something that our top teams have problems doing, but in order for our top teams to get better, you really need to see lower tier teams able to close these things out. Otherwise, there's no reason for them to even look at those mistakes with any sort of like seriousness.
And I think we were talking about it earlier. EG, in my opinion, has the easiest schedule difficulty of any of the remaining teams moving into playoffs. So effectively, we shouldn't see a situation where, like, I think max they lose out on 2 of their 5 games.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I would like to see them win in these 5 games, progress themselves.
Yeah.
I know it's difficult when you're playing teams that you feel are
beneath
you, but like at the same time, you've got to do something.
You've still got to be dominant. You've still got to show why you're at the top. Which, from watching Kobe do the Champions Q stuff on stream, he has talked about how, like, 100 Thieves players and EG players, you're less likely to see them busting out Champions Q. But everybody else, like, dude, Berserker, dude, there's days where Kobe will ask his chat and be like, "Oh, Berserker's queued up," and they're like, "Let's watch it." And then he gets into, another game, and everybody wants to, like, he'll do like 5-6, just jamming out on Champions.
Grind it.
But you don't see that out of any of the EG players. So.
No, you don't.
I feel like there is like a sense of complacency in it, and I am grotesquely worried that that's going to show itself in the world stage.
The one thing I don't know if it really changes anything about EG either, though, because this was the same for them last split. They Danny especially does not like the Champions Queue at all.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. Like, we don't know how Champions Queue really goes for any of the pro players, if it's effective, if it's not. Yeah. Like I said, you don't really see like the same sort of picks that you see between Champions Queue and pros, which Champions Queue is on the same patch that pros on. So they just don't see the fun stuff out of it. So I was just curious because EG has had close games that they should not have been close.
No, they should not. Part of it, like I said, I think is just teams are getting better and EG is just stagnant because there's no one there to push them. I think like it's hard to keep motivation when you don't have anyone to like actually push you at all.
All right. Well, speaking of motivation and pushing, game 3.
No.
Cloud9 TL. I mean, we always talk about how Cloud9 likes to play hard mode.
Dude, this one...
Was this hard mode?
This one just felt weird. This was a weird game for me. Yeah. Because, first off, the Hecarim pick was a super intelligent pick. Glad to see it. Because I believe Olaf was picked by TL.
Yep.
Right? So, C9 doesn't have a chance to pick Olaf into this, where you just need to make sure that no one touches Kog'Maw. Please don't touch the Kog'Maw. And then it's like, oh, we'll just play Hecarim. It's like, oh shit, wait a minute, hold on, that was a thing? And Hecarim pretty much spoiled the entire game plan, I think, for TL.
So protect the Kog'Maw, strat didn't work out?
No, it did not.
Yeah, Juggernaut does not seem to be as strong as it was in the past.
Well, I mean,
Well, to be
I
fair,
thought
is
like
this like
damage
a
wise, it was crazy
true-
good, but like
Is this like a true Juggernaut though?
No, it's not,
No.
because if it's true Juggernaut, you would take in a
Like Ornn or something
shielding.
in the top?
yeah, you
Well, you
take
would
like
take in the
at least
Ornn.
yeah.
You would have seen Ornn. Like
I
I guess
take
the
the
ideal
Wukong. I
Juggernaut
would take
comp,
the Wukong for
in
sure.
the ideal Juggernaut comp, you might take Ornn top. Wukong I can see, but Poppy might be a little bit better there.
Oh yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
saying
yeah.
And
you have things like
Dillian or
Morgana mid
Carmel mid.
or a Karma mid are really good on this.
I'm gonna make Daisy a shirt that says "Support your local Morgana" or some shit, dude.
Which is funny because TL, granted, when was Kog'Maw picked? Kog'Maw was their first
I was
pick,
Yeah, first.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cog
It was
Lulu were first two.
Cog
but
Lulu
they
were first.
banned the Poppy. So this,
Yeah.
like obviously this was the comp they were going for from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they couldn't hand over the Poppy. So my question is, would this need to be more of a blue side comp rather than a red side so you could get the Poppy? Because I mean, to be fair, how many teams are truly playing Kog'Maw? Like, I don't think you have to be afraid of a Kog'Maw being picked for like from the comp that you're trying to put together.
You may have to worry about being banned. I don't know what things look like from scrims.
I don't foresee them actually messing with the Kog'Maw Lulu. I think the reason why I brought up maybe seeing Poppy versus the Wukong I don't have an issue with, but like when you're staring down a Hecarim, your Juggernaut could be as strong as it wants. Hecarim messes with it. The other issue you're looking at is your Kog'Maw can be as strong as he wants, but if he is ever caught by a Renata, he
Renata
probably accidentally kills his shielding support.
Yeah.
Like
Again, I mean, they selected their bot lane,
Yeah.
but I'm seriously though, like people need to have something to be able to deal with the crowd control, and there's nothing to deal with the crowd control that is going to be brought, whether it be Renata or whether it be the Hecarim. You have to stop the Hecarim before he gets in ult range, so that Kog'Maw can kill him.
yeah,
So good luck on that.
I
But,
like the
I mean,
surprise of the Kog'Maw, but
Yeah.
I do feel that this needs to be more of a blue side acquisition than a red side.
I
Blue
will also
side would probably be a little bit easier. I just you're gonna have to actually pick some stuff to support the cog. Like
And-
But at that
Lulu
point, you
alone
don't have to
not gonna do it.
ban the Poppy. Then you get it on first rotation. You
Yeah.
doubt anybody's going to
Oh.
take the Kog'Maw. Lulu, I feel, is very situational for picking.
Yep.
So it's like I feel that you could get the Poppy, Kog'Maw, Lulu first three.
Yeah.
Here's my bigger fear of all of this is I feel like it was very evident that TL came into this game that this is what they wanted to play and this is what they were going to play. That I think is fine, but when you're like, this is what I want to play, this is what we're gonna do, and you're banning champions, and then C9 first picks Renata, maybe don't pick the 80 carry that's going to. The idea behind it is to 2 or 3 shots, squishy champions.
That was the
Because-
sneakiest fucking Baron.
Like Renata R's your Kog'Maw and he tears apart half your teams. Like, well,
Well, and like I said, I'm just saying there are champions out there with abilities that stop that, and it's really good on a carry that you need to not get CC'd.
you could say Morgana, it's fine.
Just saying.
We
It
know who you
exists.
mean.
It's a
Like,
regular ability.
I do agree. Morgana
so
does play
tired.
well against Azir. Morgana, I think, would have been a better pick than the
Plays well against
Ahri.
Hecarim. It plays well against Renata. I
Like,
don't
would the Morgana
understand
have made
why.
sense?
They just it's
They don't
not
like
picked.
Morgana. They also don't like Vayne. They'd rather play Kog'Maw.
Uh,
It's fine.
I mean, that's kind of fair though, just because you hit W and all of a sudden your range
They
is.
don't like Echo. They'll just play the Corgi.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that okay,
That
you
feels
win.
bad.
My
That
bad.
feels bad. Yeah.
I feel like both me and Daisy are over here all of our pity and all of our woe, and Daisy's like, but this, we're like, yeah, no, holy shit, feels bad, man.
But skimming through that, it looks like another C9 getting the lucky fucking win.
I will say real quick here. I have been annoyed at seeing the Akalis lately.
Is it because you don't like the champion, or
I
what they're being
don't
played
think the
against?
champion is that strong right now, and I would rather see something like an Echo over the Akali. And I thought that when I was looking at it, I didn't even remember that till it was just mentioned here. But every time you see Akali, if you're placed it with Echo, I think that you have a better chance of success.
Well, and obviously there seems to be not many issues with the Hextech Proto build if you're going Akali. So
Right.
I mean, from the looks of it, congrats C9, weathering the storm, holding out.
Yep. I
Did
mean,
what they're supposed to do and moved on with their lives.
it wasn't really like one team or the other playing poorly. Aside from, I do think that TL failed to recognize multiple times when they needed to pretty much sacrifice everything to get vision in an area so that COG could traverse safely.
Yeah.
Because they were in several awkward positions that made it super easy to get ultis onto the COG bomb.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to actually watch these instead of just highlights.
Yeah. I'll let you, the TL Cloud9 game wasn't very eventful. TL tried a thing.
I have to say, day one TL's game was only eventful because Fudge casted it.
Yep.
Yeah. So it was about as like your analysis of it without knowing what's going on was about as eventful as the game was.
Oh, okay.
It's nothing to write home about. The Kog'Maw is an interesting pick. I think it will work if you play it differently. As much as I dog on Daisy for it, I do believe a Morgana would have possibly won them that game.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have said mid Morgana, but
no, I would mid Morgana. I don't care. Like,
yeah,
I would, if I'm in mid,
like you can do either one. It doesn't matter.
If I'm in mid and I have the choice between Lulu and Morgana against Azir, Morgana every day. Like, Morgana would shit on Azir. Sorry. Like, what's Azir gonna do? Like, it's like having a quirky Azir matchup. She just gets to farm. Azir never gets to go in. Like, I'm gonna shuffle. No. No. Just no. So.
And then, I mean,
I like the Morgana pick there, but.
Yeah.
No, we're not seeing it.
No, I know. And I mean, it's pretty clear that we're just not. So.
Yeah.
But moving on to
the next game, Hunter Thieves Immortals. They got
moving back in time.
Yeah,
dude,
moving back in time because we got another Lee Sin. So is this one better?
Lee Sin versus Viego. I think
this
this
one
is
didn't fight the monkey, did he?
No, he's literally playing against Viego, so neither of them want to do it.
No, this one. So this is another game, by the way.
They also got the trifecta picks.
I was gonna bring that up. So here's the deal. This is a game that Immortals should have won.
Hey, did they fuck up Swain's fucking win rate? Get fucked.
They did. Not only that, they fucked up Seraphine's win rate too.
Yeah, because they got the Swain Seraphine.
They got Swain Seraphine. Yeah. The issue that they wound up, it was Swain Seraphine and Aatrox, by the way.
Yep.
And gave a win to Gragas support. It feels bad.
Yeah. But like the way that they lost it was so typical of Immortals. Everything is kind of like it was even-ish. Everything was still like 100 Thieves sided, but whenever you're trying to break through Swain, Seraphine, and Aatrox, like, good luck. Good luck. The issue finally came down to Power of Evil getting caught. And it's not a more durable version of Swain. You know, you're still going to be going with your dot damage mythic. So he did get killed before anyone else showed up. And when Swain's out of the picture, that team looks a lot more beatable.
No, is this a testament to Talia being a good pick into Swain?
No,
No.
I didn't see it.
Hmm.
Like, I think Talia is a good pick into Swain, but this was not like a game where you're like, oh yeah, that's just a good
Swain
job.
couldn't play, but
Yeah,
and
several
even
different points. Several different points of the game. Immortals had avenues to win it. So
And 100 Thieves did their thing.
I would argue, and I know it sucks to see, like, Immortals is effectively, I think, the most consistent team in the league. Even though
true,
DG
they're
is the
always
top.
right there, gnawing at the heels of victory, and they just let it go.
Well, it was shoot, who was it last split where even though they were losing, they were still like, dude, this is a scary freaking team. Who was it? I can't remember. It was kind of the same as Immortals, where it was just like they're consistent. They
was
know
Dig. I
what
think
they're
it was
trying to
Dig.
do.
So
Might
I
have
mean,
been.
I would not say Immortals is going to win the split. That's, ooh.
I mean, if they
But I
make it, they
would
just
say,
have to
like,
make it to the playoffs.
if you're looking at the bottom half of the standings right now with GG, TSM, Immortals, Dignitas, I would be more fearful of Immortals out of any of those 4 teams.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we'll see with TSM. So teams that Solo gets on they have this happen a lot where they have this weird like halo effect for a little bit, and then it comes crashing down horrifically, just like absolutely terribly crashing down. So
I just don't even see in TSM right now in the way they're playing but this is good. I can at least look at Immortals and be like, but they're doing this correctly. They're playing this
Yeah.
well. They're doing this correctly. That's why I'm saying, like, they're probably, like, the one I'd be fearful of the most. And, like, it comes down to that, like, are you, like, is it the TSM organization, like, you view them as a winning organization so much that, like, you're willing to put the backing behind them versus somebody, which is not to say that Immortals hasn't been past a winning organization, but, like,
no, there are 3 things on TSM right now that give them a big boost for the next couple weeks. That's about it. And like Speak has been playing really well all split.
I think Speak has always been a very strong player, and I will always, like, as a jungler, I think he's always really good. But I will say also, like, in true LCS fashion, TSM has made their way into an Immortals 100 Thieves game.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like, I just don't see it. Like, my point was, like, Immortals looks.
Yeah. They've got some promising things that we're seeing.
I think the top standing teams right now should probably be looking at it as more of a, we would rather not see Immortals make it to 8th, not because we think we'll lose to them in the
Like lower
finals or
bracket.
anything.
Yeah.
It's just, I would rather play any of the other teams right now.
Yeah, it
Which
looks
is
like
very stark contrast to what we were saying in the beginning of the season.
Well, Immortals looks like they're falling. Hey, I know TSM gets brought up all the time, but Immortals is having that same effect TSM's having, where their early game is looking really good. Teams are having issues with it, but it's that mid to late game where they're just like, well, we got here. What do we do next?
Yeah, like I said, we've never been winning before. How does this work?
I think that is truthfully a testament to, like, I don't think anyone on Immortals, like, their players themselves, I don't think are bad. I don't think this isn't like a star-studded roster, but Revenge plays really well.
Props to Revenge, man. He's played so much better over these past couple weeks.
Kinvy's got his ups and downs. Power of Evil, I think, on the correct champions is good. I think his champion pool is a little more limited. Lost is a little bit questionable for me. I don't think he's, like, if I had to rank him in the 80 carries, he's probably about 7th, 8th, or not, like 8th, 9th, 10th AD carry. I wouldn't say he's like powerhouse, but Ignar's a really good support and has shown like really
Yeah.
good promise. So like I think if Ignar, Power of Evil, and Revenge can really start stepping up and helping this team out, you'll see a lot more success. But they don't seem to have that macro like later game like knowledge
Mm.
to kind of dictate Lost and Kinvi on where they need to be going. And it's always really rough when your jungler is not the one, because your jungler effectively can manipulate more of the map than any other
Yeah.
position. So I think that's kind of a position they're running into. I feel like right now, specifically, teams that have really strong voiced junglers are doing well, which is I know a contrast to what I was just saying about Spica, but like a good jungler can win you games.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when Contracts is on point, CLG looks amazing. You know, most of the teams who are at the top of the standings, their jungler are doing well and doing things they're supposed to be doing. They're not flashing a Lee Sin into a Wukong.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're probably just shouldn't be picking Lee Sin. Closer, good job on putting a W up for Lee Sin. Can you please not?
Yeah.
For
It's,
solo queue, please don't.
it's like he put a win up on it, but like, was the win because of the Lisa? No, it was not.
So
Nope, it was another team faltering mid to late game, giving the opposing team the victory.
Yeah.
Very common
It
theme
was-
this
Yeah.
weekend.
It really is.
this is yeah. Well, it sucks because I feel like that's just the meta we're in. Is it's like, well, does early game mean that much? We don't really want to do anything. Okay, we made one macro change. Oh shit, we have 30-second, death timers because we're so far into the game now,
I mean, it's
and it means so much more.
if people played more loosey goosey here, like they do in LPL, where you'll find 2 or 3 different aces have happened before 20 minutes,
Mhm.
and not all on the same team, right? You know, it's just gone back and forth, back and forth. Everything still feels really close. Here it's like, man, if something like that, if an ace happened, it'd be basically insurmountable. But then it's not insurmountable because the other team could just throw. If that's
They
like a
could.
potential game plan, that's really not good. It doesn't
Oh.
lead to good early game teams. And it
It
doesn't
does.
lead to good late game teams either. To be honest.
It does suck because it feels like the meta does perpetuate that though right now. But I'm fully aware that they've come out saying there are things in the works to alter Dragons or to do this to incentivize more early game pressure.
Which 12
Profits.
15 I think we're on. Like
Yeah.
what's live, what's not on the pros. Pots got nerfed, by
Yep.
the way.
Yeah.
So even more early game pressure is going to be added to the pro level.
Which
as
is
well
fearful for
as-
like. Good.
as well as Kobe said that the dev team has looked at it multiple times and they're still considering potentially removing stopwatch.
I think that
I-
would be a poor play. I
Yeah.
don't like that.
Yeah.
But
It's
I think the
because
stopwatch.
they want the more early game.
Well, but the problem is
I think that'll do the exact opposite.
Opposite, exactly.
I know. That's what I was thinking.
And
when
you
said
and
it.
I want to point out. I want to point out like right now in this situation, like we now have like this golden like me and Daisy agree on something, so it's probably not a good idea.
So
Like both.
there's
both me
also
and Daisy are
the
like, that's bad.
I know, was it live? There's a nerf to Red Smite, so we'll probably see a lot more blue coming
Yeah,
up too.
Red Spine got nerfed.
I don't like that either, though.
Before we start talking about all that stuff and then talking
Yeah,
about stopwatch.
that could probably wait.
Final
That could probably wait
game,
until after the games, but
CLG Dignitas. I've had this running because I was curious. Dude, Draven looked
Yeah.
like he fucking owned this game.
He did.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Draven's thing.
Good job, CLG. You beat Dig. it seems fairly convincing.
Yeah.
No, it was.
This is probably, in my opinion, probably the most convincing game of the week. Also, it definitely marks that, hey, like, Luger can play this Draven. Like, it's
Yeah.
not just a, hey, Draven's good. No, it's you should probably be a little worried about that. The Renata pick with it, I'm on.
I mean, it's okay. Like if you can hit it, it'll do what you want it to do, which is set the Draven up for kill number 1.
Yeah. Um.
I do think that there are easier things to combo with out there, but
Yeah.
Renata's just strong in general, so it's
Yeah.
not a bad pick.
We do see that Callista Pike come up that I had talked about,
Yep.
which does a lot of really cool things, and then got to see them do
None
none
of
of
it.
those things.
Mhm.
That's fun. I promise everybody who, like I said, that is a fun comp. If you're looking for something cool to run, do it. I played both Callista and Pike, and I would love to play either side of that.
The Pike at 18 minutes is 3-1, but the Draven's 5-1. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So curb your expectations with that. I want to point out, like, the Pike is 3-1. The Callista has 4 deaths. So
yeah.
So probably
Take a
I
pick.
think
take
was
your
it-
pick on where you think that Pike was getting kills at.
Dude, that's where it doesn't matter if it's program or not. You just go into all chat and say, "Hey, can we like swap our Callista for your Draven?"
Jeez. Actually, no. Anyone out there, don't play Draven or Pike. Don't play them together. It's a bad combo. You don't get your adoration stacks on kills Pike gets, so don't do that. It's bad.
I mean, you don't get
Bad
the
combo.
adoration kills on anybody else getting the kill anyway, so.
Yeah, that's my point. It's like the biggest thing with Pike is he shares the gold when he gets a kill.
Yeah.
Draven doesn't care. He wants the kill.
Selfish motherfucker.
Yeah, 100% most selfish AD carry. But yeah, no, I don't like the Trundle pick. I don't like the Victor pick. The rest of their comp is okay, but the Victor's got a poor win rate, and I don't know what
Victor
the Trundle
hasn't
is
won a game.
effectively. I don't know what Trundle's
It's not a
effectively
poor
doing for
win
you
rate.
here.
It's fucking abysmal. Quit picking it. Stop.
Tell us how
0-6,
you roll.
0-7.
I feel
Don't do it. Get help.
Or brainwash the entire
It
enemy
wouldn't
to
have
pick
made it any
champions that
better.
walk into you.
It would not have made it any better. I would have rather seen the Echo lose.
so right at the end of the game,
Yeah.
you see the Callista get caught by Renata ult and almost kill Pike.
Yeah, Renata ult's nasty.
If it could make her click rend or throw the spear, Pike would have been dead.
So
Oh,
here's the actual question,
fun
by
fact.
the way.
No,
If she throws her spears
if she hits
into
Rend
that Pike,
afterwards,
yeah, she hits
will
Rin,
pull
she
it.
kills Pike.
Yeah. So
I
she
thought
can't
that might be
hit
the
Rend
case.
on it at all.
I know the answer to that question.
That's so funny.
So, yeah, no, she will pull out of her pull. She will pull spears out of her allies if they are in them, regardless of whether she is.
Oh, that's
if
so
they're not.
beautiful. That would have been the
still will do
coolest thing
damage.
ever. That would have been the ultimate Bronzie
At
play
At that point,
for the
I
history
feel
of the
if
game.
you're in your base, you're getting Renata ulted, you have a few people dead, just pull the
Right?
Rend.
Just do it.
It's already over.
So-
You're like, we're full resetting.
I want to
Whoosh.
see because the Renata ulti's over at that point, right? So
Yeah.
who gets the kill credit?
the last enemy champion to attack the target.
Can't farm your allies for gold because of Renata.
Nope. So, fun facts about Renata that I have learned from playing AD carry that I have regrettably been usually on the receiving end of. 1, Callista can rend from her allies. 2, if your Nami applies the auto attack buff to herself, and then gets hit by Renata ulti, and has the mythic that increases damage to a target after being applied, like any CC applied. If she autos you and slows you, it will apply it. The enemy team can then proc it.
Imperial
That's
Mandate.
2, Callista's passive on her Wisp that she sends out, which increases the damage of her tethered target, does apply to her auto attacks on her allies. So if her attached target and herself are hit with Renata ult, and they both hit the same target, it will trigger her W passive. So Renata is actually a really good counter into Callista. Careful of it. Just an FYI. But fun facts: Renata is dumb.
Would you like some fun facts about the our standings after this weekend?
No, I really don't, because it's not fun for me. The
Go
fact that
through it.
I'm the only benefit to me is the fact that I'm still tied with Daisy, which means I effectively got more points out of this abysmal week than he did. So I can at least say I had a
you're
better week
also
than one person.
1 for 1 on pick manipulation.
Yeah, I'm also the only one to have manipulated a pick. I do want to point that out.
Pen is
50%.
that's because Pen has been too afraid, especially after getting his.
He has no fucking
KO
reason
points.
to. He has no fucking reason to right now. Can we get a screen share so we can at least see this manipulation of bullshit?
Well, I was gonna say it. So, you and Daisy are tied for points, with 49. Your predictions are different. Daisy's is 38 and 27. Yours is 39 and 26. Pen is in second, with 38 and 27, which you gave him one of those prediction points. With
You're welcome, Pen. I saved you.
53 points.
Wait, how many points did me and Daisy have?
49.
Oh, okay, not as bad.
So Kale is literally keeping Pen
You out of last place.
Yeah. I had
fine with
the
this.
miracle weekend that
9 and
skyrocketed
10.
me.
Yeah, and on top of that, you got your 4
1.
points from
TSM
Fog of Draft.
and TSM.
Yeah.
So my predictions 44 and 21, and I have 61 points because I had a 10-0 weekend, and I got the Fog Draft.
What was the ruling on getting a perfect weekend?
You can't fuck with any of my picks.
Yeah, next week, or this week rather.
Yeah,
You
so
can't
if we
mess
have
with
any
his picks at all.
50-50s, you're gonna have to fuck with whoever else.
I don't have the points to do that anyway. So. That week had so much potential to be so good for me, and
It did.
just
It really
lot like
and it
TSM
showed
just
with
fucked
all
me.
of the games too, right? Like TL could have won. Immortals could have won for Daisy, even though he only picked it because he doesn't want to pick 100 Thieves. Golden Guardians could have won. Like you had a lot of potential there. So I am going to be riding high on my 10-0 after our discussion last week of how poorly I picked day 2. Just to go 1-4 next week on both days. So I'm happy. Can't get any better than this. Right?
Yeah. All right. Let's get into picks for next week. Then we can talk about a few other things.
Yeah.
I feel like both me and Daisy are just having a moment of silence for this bullshit week.
I skyrocketed so hard in the first place.
I mean, that for you. Just think there's 3 that add they differently.
You're breaking in and out a bit.
That's what it is, right?
Now we hear you.
What?
You were breaking out during what you were saying.
Oh, I do apologize. Better?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, I mean, like, it happens. I'm
If
happy
any
for
of
you,
those,
but
if any of those games actually had that, like the team that was actually winning won the game, I probably would have only gotten like 5 games correct.
yeah. You win some, you lose some. This is a bad week for me. Oh, like, I feel like this week is kind of somewhat deserved though, because I feel like as far as actual like correct picks, you've been pretty high up. Like you've been beating most of us in like actual ratio of like correct like picks. But
Oh,
it
my
just the
my
points weren't.
actual
Yeah,
predictions. The points
your
just
actual
the points
predictions.
were not in my favor
Yeah.
whatsoever.
So finally, like, you had a week that kind of cooperated with you there.
That's why I said I'm ready to have like the worst week ever with week 7. Just saying.
What was Penn's pick ratio?
38 and 27. And you gave him a victory, so he should have been
I gave him one of those.
37, 28. Yeah.
We take those.
I'm still beating on ratios, so like the small victory there.
Yeah, you got the one up on him. So speaking of the one ups, day 1, week 7. This is the final week before Super Week. So this is where teams really need to start locking in, getting their victories, getting ready for playoffs. So it's going to be a question of what are we going to see out of a lot of these teams in the final 5 games. And I think it's potential to get pretty wild. Or super stock standard, where the higher teams win, the lower teams loses. I'm hoping for wild. I don't know about you guys.
I think there's a couple of teams that could give us some like off the wall bullshit that they're like, hey, we're gonna try this, and it's either gonna be teams like EG and 100 Thieves who are feeling pretty comfortable with themselves. I think EG is more prone to do that than 100 Thieves. I think that's testimony to like the Callista play we haven't seen Danny on. What I want to see, and if like we talked about it, if Dignitas is just caution to the wind, we don't give a fuck, we're trading off river, we're banking, we don't give a fuck about the season. Okay, make the games fun then.
Yep.
Like, do something.
I
Do
agree.
something with these. Like, I don't care if it's like we're gonna like this has been seeing some success in like scrims. Balls to the wall, go. I want
Bring
to see
out the Sunfire Demonic Diana. I want to see a team do it.
I'm actually somewhat terrified that
It is a
actually probably
legitimate
would
thing.
be
No,
dumb as
100%.
fuck.
100% legitimate. I even played it in mid lane.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're gonna table that. We'll visit that here in about like 30 minutes. I want to see Cloud9 do something. Like, I want to see them.
I think they might
Like,
start
they
going more stock
showed.
standard.
Well, I don't want to see them do crazy, but I want to see them use what this lineup that they've made and be like, this is why we made it. Like, we've shown it. Like, I feel like the lineup with Berserker has shown effectively a better results than without, which is not difficult when they go 0-3. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's like, show why you did all this for Berserker. That Pentakill was a very good example. Let him go crazy. Play like these teams are starting to somewhat realize that the bottom lane is a huge win condition on some of these.
Is that his second of the season?
Don't know that. Ask the stat,
I don't know.
man. I don't know. Like you're asking the wrong party member here.
I mean, yeah. I want to see Cloud9 step up in the final 5 games. They're gonna have a hell of a final 5 games though.
Yeah. EG's kind of has an easy road. 100 Thieves is like a CLG. Cloud9 probably have some of the worst ones. Immortals and Dig obviously have the absolute worst. There's no one they play above the standings from them outside of Immortals who gets to play Dignitas. But
yeah, which honestly, since we just hit up on that one, I don't even care if it's game 5. Immortals versus Dignitas. Who you got?
why is that the fucking game of the day? That's what hurts my
It's
soul.
game
I
5.
don't know. CLG
Immortals.
Cloud9. I'm taking Immortals. No way I take Dignitas on this.
No, never. I'm not taking dig on
I
anything.
don't think for
Well-
like the rest of the season we can honestly take Dignitas unless we see, I don't know, the craziness and the willingness to fuck around.
I think there's a random game that one random game they pick up because they do something off the wall that no one expects. They get ahead and it just crushes.
Is it?
But I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that it's gonna be just not
Immortals?
something I can't take Dignitas. So yeah.
Like,
Shoot, let's
I-
keep
I
going.
might- I might sound like a Immortals fanboy, but like they seem to look effective. I
Yeah.
take them.
They just need to
against
clean
most
up
of the lower
a
standing
few
teams.
things. Clean up a few things, get a little bit better of a mid game, and you'll probably start taking another victory or two. Game 4, CLG, Golden Guardians.
Cloud9.
Cloud9.
Oh, yeah, Cloud9. I don't know why I said Golden Guardians.
I don't
CLG
know.
Cloud9.
Well, that was last
Yeah,
week's.
this is a problem with going backwards, Lake.
Yeah.
Yep.
It really makes your brain start thinking. Because originally you started thinking CLG versus GG, and now you have to think CLG versus Cloud9.
Yeah, now I don't know. Like, so now I just feel like you're playing underhanded tactics of bullshit. No,
It's tough. They both went 2-0.
they both went 2-0 last week.
C9s were a little bit closer of a 2-0.
C9 was also playing Flyquest and TL versus Dignitas and GG. So don't play that bullshit card on me. Like, stats can be very misleading.
I'm putting
No,
my faith in Berserker. But
yeah,
Cloud9.
I think I'm taking C9 too. I think they've figured out kind of what they need to do to win.
Also, dude, Fudge needs a redemption game, and what a better way to do it than against Big Dope.
Big dope.
Taking
Wide football.
CLG on this one.
You going CLG?
Big Dokes has been showing up, yeah.
Daisy?
I'm probably going C9.
Okay. And that leads us to game 3, Team Liquid versus Flyquest. Which, mind you, would you guys like to know what TL's second game is? Because TL has not proven to be a 2-0 team. They legitimately have been 1-1, and we proved that last week when we said all of us pretty much went like, okay, if TL wins this game, we can't pick them in the next game, because they're not going to win, except for Curtis, who did that backwards. But
I was still correct. I was just
yeah,
fucking
you just
the
didn't pick
wrong
the
way.
right one. Yeah, right order. But TL's
Bullshit.
second game is against EG, which at this point we're all probably going to assume it's EG's victory. So, but there's always that possibility. So what's it going to be?
I'm gonna take TL.
TL.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was going to take TL.
Yeah, I hate myself for this, so I'm taking TL.
If Fly can't clean up last week's,
They looked really bad this week.
yeah, Takoi was not relevant. Once he becomes relevant, that's when the game state really changes. Speaking of relevance, EG versus TSM.
You mean irrelevant? TSM is not relevant.
No, it's talking about EG.
Oh yeah, EG's
EG,
taking
easy on that one.
GG.
Sorry. TSM just looks bad. They just don't look good.
I mean, like Daisy said, they have a little bit of a solo effect, a little halo going on, so maybe by the magical grace of the halo, they
It's
take
not
down
that
EG.
big. Yeah, it's not that big.
And the first game that I think I was trying to avoid, Golden Guardians versus 100 Thieves.
Thieves.
I only have one choice. You know this.
The disappointment in his voice right
Yeah,
now.
but you never know, though, right? But the issue is if 100 Thieves can do what they did this week, there shouldn't be a way Golden Guardians win.
I'm taking 100 on this one.
So I figured.
Yeah. That's like a lot of my predictions with 100 Thieves and CLG. Well, no, CLG is pretty back and forth for me.
Yo, it is super funny, right? It's only been for like a couple weeks that Daisy has said, fuck 100 Thieves, I'm not taking their picks anymore. But you haven't been sold in last place on points. So
He's
you're at
sticking
least
in there
making
with
the other
handicap.
picks work. Yeah, you got one hell of a handicap. And you imagine where you would be if you just gave in to the copium every now and then.
No.
Next game we play, by the way, Daisy has to play Morgana or I'm gonna be pissed.
So continuing the trend
play
of going
Calista, it's fine.
backwards, final game of day 2, TSM
hate
versus Dig.
I hate this so much.
What, going
Not
Not
backwards?
this game.
Going backwards?
Are they going backwards?
Yeah.
Should be TSM.
TSM.
Are you sure this isn't the one random game that we think Dig's gonna win?
I
No.
don't know that they have random games now.
I'm gonna take Dig on that one.
You are, huh? I'm going TSM against my better judgment.
Enjoy 4 points, Kurt.
So, okay, I want to point out we said that for 3 games last week, and it didn't come true on any of them. So careful.
We want to keep that string going right now.
Yeah. it's I don't know why. Like it's one of those situations where you have just like this gut feeling that
Dignitas
Dig
is a
takes
wild
one
card.
stupid game. They take one stupid game, and I feel like this is the game.
The potential
just do.
dumb game. They
Yeah.
do. They're a wild card now. 100% a wild card. They can pick honestly whatever the fuck they want and go out and have fun. And that's when teams become dangerous. The issue is, are they going to do it? Because when you come in as a replacement or a rookie or an academy person, like Fudge said, these are still the games that matter, that prove your worth, that prove that you need to stay.
The most dangerous team is the team that has nothing to fucking lose.
Yeah.
Or they just traded River off. They have no care in them.
I mean, speaking of teams that have nothing to lose, Immortals, Golden Guardians.
You know what? Sticking with my theme of last game, I take Immortals on this one. I think Immortals gets their one victory for the rest of the season on this one here.
They're one for the rest.
I said I'd take them against any low-standing team. I'll hold true to my word on that. I think Immortals beats GG here. What?
Are they a
Yeah.
low-standing team?
Yeah, they're like 7th. They're tied with TSM. Yeah. Yeah, it feels bad when you have to say that out loud, don't it? Like, they're 3 games behind 6th.
Yeah. Ben?
Immortals.
Okay. Daisy?
I honestly have a feeling that GG will probably beat Immortals.
But,
The same as other people have. No, that's the same as other people have.
okay.
Where Immortals loses the game and GG's like, oh, okay, thanks. So that's GG for me.
Immortals, Golden Guardians. Immortals. I was thinking similar logic, and I'm going Golden Guardians. Just because the Golden Guardians mid to late is just slightly better than Immortals. So, I mean, I'd like to see Immortals win and really start frustrating, some of the teams at the bottom of the bracket, but
Yeah, just don't see it.
Game 3, EG TL.
You already know what I'm picking. It doesn't matter if they lose
Really?
it. It's my team.
Okay.
I'm willingly taking the L on this.
Daisy. I'm taking EG just purely on the logic of TL is a 1-1 team.
It's basically well, I would probably take EG either way until TL shows us something that says they might even be able to win.
That and it's so extremely hard to bet against EG right now.
Not for me.
That you're on a solo venture on that one. I'm
He
taking
says it's
EG
not.
on this one.
Yeah, it's not hard for him to bet against them, but he does, as he said, most likely he's taking the L on this
You
one.
know, sometimes, Pen, even I vote against CLG just because you don't go down with the ship.
I go down with this ship. I'm crashing this Honda.
Yeah.
So
You know,
speaking of going
I had
down,
hoped we'd make one podcast without making a Honda joke. We didn't.
no.
I don't think I made one last week.
You did.
Did
Did I?
Yeah.
So speaking of
At
going
least I didn't
down
make the other joke.
with the ship, are we continuing the trend of Cloud9 going 2-0? They went 2-0 last week. They went 2-0 the week before. And when I say last week, I mean like this week, because this week's over.
They are on a 4-game winning streak.
Yeah. But
Holy
can Cloud9 continue that against Thunder Thieves?
Their last loss was Immortals.
Yep.
No. I'm taking 100 on this one. Just my opinion. I think Thunder Thieves is a better team.
I don't know why you're asking me.
He has to take C9.
Yep. Pen?
Um,
I don't know. Maybe
C9.
the Copian
I'll take
finally
C9.
hit. Like, fuck
No.
if I know.
So Pen's taking C9 on this one.
So the other issue is both C9 and 100 Thieves have almost adapted the same gameplay style, where as long as the other team fucks up somewhere, they get the win. Now you
Yep.
have two of those teams against each other. So is that like the ultimate paradox and nobody wins and the game just never ends? Because
I mean, realistically, most likely 100 Thieves will win the game.
This is the day you pick freaking Veigar and Senna and just infinitely scale. Nasus top.
I think that realistically 100 Thieves should be favored at this game.
100 Thieves is more practice if the eye don't fuck up.
Yeah.
I'm going 100 Thieves because they've also looked clean in the last couple games, so I'm hoping they can continue that, especially after the Golden Guardians game.
I think it's the safest bet.
And then the game that's supposed to kick off day 2, CLG versus Flyquest.
I think I've been mean enough to him for a little while. I'm taking CLG on this one. I'm going with my boys.
I think after
I got
this
it.
last week, I gotta agree with you on that. I don't think Flyquest can beat them.
It sucks. Flyquest was looking pretty good. Like, they were going to do some stuff for a while, and this last week was really kind of disappointing from them.
I'm
close.
going
They were close
CLG.
enough right there.
Even though we have Fly Phillip, I don't know if he can keep doing what he's doing, especially
I
against
think
Dope.
that
Wide
I'm going to go
note.
with, I mean, this is more of a point maneuver because I think this is kind of a 50-50. I honestly think
honestly,
that this
it can
goes
be,
either
yeah.
way.
So,
So
Flyquest,
I'm going to go ahead and take Flyquest.
honestly, a huge debate that I had going on with it between CLG and Flyquest. So
I'd say this game is a lot closer than what, like, on paper it looks like.
yes.
But
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Day 1, day 2 locked in. We only have a couple 50-50s. A lot
leaving
of
them the fuck alone.
1-3s. A lot of 1-3s, actually. TSM Dig, EG, Team Liquid, Flyquest, CLG, Golden Guardian, Thunder Thieves, and CLG, C9. Huh.
I do feel like there's a lot of close games this week, like that are like closer in the standings. I mean, like I think the farthest disparity you have in teams playing against each other might be 100 Thieves GG. Would be like the largest disparity in standings, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
Well, we'll see
Yep.
how this goes. I'm sure next week we're going to have a hell of a discussion because it is super week for week 8. So,
yeah.
Depending on how
Also
these
keep in
games go.
mind, Daisy, you need to pick a day to not watch.
I think he said day 2.
Yeah, day 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, he doesn't have to lock in. Just one of the days, don't watch games. We can do your fog.
All right.
Yeah.
Or you just miss out on your 4 points, and we call that a day. Like I'm okay with that too.
Nah, no.
No.
Okay.
I'll just not watch day 2. It's not a big deal.
As we wrap up,
Wait,
since
before we start Lottle,
yeah,
I know we've talked about it before and how next season we're going to do LEC.
yes,
I just want to bring up that we will not be reviewing any Misfits games anymore.
yeah, they did
Oh,
sell.
yeah. I guess we didn't talk
sell
about. They
their
did sell their
slot.
spot. Yeah.
Heretics.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Shame.
I don't think this does much. I think the Misfits call to say they're gonna focus on other
On
things
content creation.
is fair, and onto content creation. Like you can't fault them for that. It is kind of weird to see because LEC is picking up in viewership. It is kind of weird to see them move away from that. But
Maybe the passion's
you know,
not there.
there's
Maybe they just don't want to fork out the money that they should to make their teams work, I guess. Maybe. I don't know.
And I'll say, as of this moment, I don't recognize any of the names on their team.
well,
I know because I know some people like Reckless have stepped down into the lower level leagues over in Europe.
Yep.
So usually you can recognize 1 or 2 people on a team. I don't recognize a single name on this roster.
So they're not keeping any of the Misfit players?
Not that I know of yet.
Well, that's gonna be the other thing is you're gonna see a lot of Misfit players probably go back into pool to be allotted to be picked up. It is kind of weird to see them do it this late in the season and where rosters are locked for playoffs. So you probably won't see any changes until postseason.
Yeah.
So
Well, good
we'll
luck
see if anyone
to
picks up Misfit
whoever.
players.
Yeah. Good luck to them.
Yeah, best of luck to the Misfit players. Like, I hope they do get picked up. I don't think their team was bad in any sense. So there's a lot of players there,
No,
a
they're
lot of talent that
still
I hope
middle
to
of the
see.
pack right now too. So
Well, I
possible.
mean, they're still just
Not saying they're gonna go to Worlds, but because they're middle of the pack, it gives them a little bit more up there on potential for Worlds, especially with how G2's playing.
I just don't want to see like the talent that is in Misfits kind of go to waste. So
Yeah.
But
We'll see.
you'll never know.
Yep. Well, let's wrap this thing up with a little Lottle.
Ugh.
Hey, we
Lottle.
that. A little Lottle.
We got it correct last time.
Yeah, we
so
killed it last time.
Let's go.
So we said the classic was harder, and then we said as a win it got easier. So do we want to go backwards?
I don't know. The
Continue.
ability was, like,
Continue the backwards theme.
Sure. Since you've already fucked with my brain enough, go ahead and hit splash. Like whatever.
Splash. Ooh.
Oh.
Wait. Actually, wait. What
Wait
champion
a
has this
minute.
whole splash art?
So can I ask a question? Is it
Frost.
only?
I
Is
don't
it only
know.
default skins?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's not.
I would assume
Good.
so. Oh, or any random skin.
Yeah, or skins.
Okay, so it could be any skin.
there are
right?
tries
Oh,
to
okay.
it, so
Okay. Nocturne.
you're gonna for a frosty image, you're gonna say Nocturne.
Yep.
Wait.
I'm going Ash. It's more reasonable.
Okay.
It's not Ash.
Yeah.
It looks like it might be a Black Frost skin, so maybe.
We go Nocturne.
Oh,
Go ahead.
you said no. You said no. Don't do it.
There,
Okay.
Nocturne.
Renekton? Because he does have the
like-
Black
Yeah,
Frost
but
skin.
the issue is this looks like a beam of some sort.
I was going off the blade. My guy.
Is that a blade?
Or a tail or something.
No, that's a cloth right there. That's a piece of cloth.
Is it cloth?
Yes.
Well, I don't know then.
There, I blew up magnified.
Magnification. Enhance. Zoom.
Enhance.
Well.
There's snowy mountains. There's some weird wisp thing right here.
This.
Thought it was gonna give us more images.
I didn't know it could take in. Skins. Like that made it a lot more difficult. Like.
Didn't it?
Yeah, I was not expecting skins.
Anybody else? Bueller, Penn.
Bueller.
I don't know how many guesses we get.
I'm flying blind, so I don't know
Yeah,
what
I
it looks
know.
like.
Oh yeah, I guess he's not. He doesn't have.
Nope, not such.
I don't think this is a default skin. If I'm being honest, I don't think
know.
it's a default skin.
Wait, zoom back in on that.
This man better have something like fucking clever up his skin right now.
Alright. No, it's not, is it?
What? Just say it.
Is that the curling Vager hat?
Right here?
No, the cloth.
That? I mean,
I don't think so. I think you're off on that one.
it's Viger. Yeah.
I hate all
Yeah,
of
it's
this.
Toboggan Viger.
I hate
Or
everything.
Curling
That
Viger.
has.
Wow. Let's go,
everything.
Penn.
I didn't even know that was a skin.
Good fucking job.
Fucking plays it.
Oops.
I think I actually have that skin. I just never use it.
I didn't even know that skin existed.
All right, ability.
Syndra.
Syndra.
Okay, so like, guaranteed, this is like literally the easiest one. All right.
I wish there was just a fucking go back. Quote.
We really should have just started from the top.
Hot.
Who cares?
Hot.
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 Which
Hot.
champ?
Hot.
Yeah. Ooh, hot.
Hot.
My first instinct is brand, but I don't recall that being a quote.
Just put it in. Nope.
No.
Audio
Okay, here for
cue
another
in 5 tries. What champion says hot, 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 hot? Ooh, ha. Ooh,
Unfortunately, this is probably a champion I don't play. Like, because the amount of times I click the fucking buttons, I would know. Like, I feel like this is not a champion I play.
I'm not sure.
We gotta
Fuck.
start guessing then.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't know, I don't know. You gotta start guessing.
I guess what other fiery?
Oh, Heimerdinger.
Oh, from. Nope.
Nope. Okay. Like, I was assuming his dragon skin. Because I know he gets set on fire on that.
Let's see.
Ziggs would be the other one that I would think of.
In quote mode, try to guess which champion says a sentence during a game or during champion select. You can listen once you. Okay.
The only other, Ziggs would be the other one that I'm thinking of.
No. Who?
Is it Rumble?
Oh, yeah, Rumble is a very good possibility.
It is.
Yep, there you go. Good job.
Good shit.
Yo. Choose on and when he overheats.
Hot, 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 hot. Ooh.
Yep. When he overheats.
That was
Okay, that sounded a lot more sensual than it needed to.
okay. We know it's not Kazakhs for today's champion.
Yeah, do you though?
I feel they wouldn't have the same
Started off
champion
with
back to back.
Blitzcrank.
All right, we're guessing the champion. It's not an other, so
But it is mana and melee.
okay.
Newer
It's
than
not a golem.
2009.
It's not a support.
It's not from Zon. Darius.
It is a male.
It is
It's
partially human,
Yeah.
partially from Noxus.
Yep.
It
Or
uses mana.
sooner than 2012. And it's not top. So not top, not support.
Not top, not support.
Well,
And
not
from
top,
Noxus,
it was
that's
the
what
lowest.
I'm
Partial not.
Partially from Noxus.
partial. Like that's
Oh.
what bothers me.
Oh, but he's
That should
also
be an easy
only
giveaway.
partial man, right?
Yeah, partial human.
Who is the only partial? Oh, partial human, not partially from Noxus. You're confusing me.
No, it's from both.
Noxus is,
What?
is orange, so one or more properties are correct, but not all. So he's from multiple regions. Noxus is one of them. Species, he's part human, but he could be, what was they call Rise, like altered or something?
Yeah, altered human, magically altered.
Oh, maybe Victor?
Isn't he?
It can't be. He's on.
We can still.
Oh no,
You
because
can
it wouldn't have anything to do with.
Okay,
He's not cyborg.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's
Not
melee.
ranged.
He's melee, by the way.
Oh yeah, we do.
Oh, yeah, the
And he's
middle.
not mid, so it's jungle, 80 carry. One of those two. So male, jungle,
but
or
no,
80 carry.
All right,
It's-
well, we know
Position
we know
is
one
not
at a
middle.
time.
Position is not top. Position is not support.
Right, but no matter what, it can't be Draven.
Yes.
Can't be Draven.
Yeah.
No, cannot be Draven.
Well, I was saying yeah, like yeah.
And we know that they're
Male,
melee
mana,
based.
melee,
Mana based.
jungle, or 80 carry. So do we need to name like jungle or 80 carry just to get that one out of here?
Who are some of the Noxian-esque junglers?
There is not a whole lot of them.
I mean, there's just like Talon.
Talon.
I wonder if
Yeah,
they're
Which
gonna...
would
I mean,
cover
he's
all
not
your
partial.
bases.
Yeah, but
He's like
they-
full
think
human though.
Yeah, but so the issue is they would also probably consider him mid, and he's not mid. The one we're guessing is not mid at all, so it would still be incorrect.
But he's mainly jungle, right? He has
Jungle.
been.
I mean, I'll put it in, but the system is probably gonna say
No, you're fine. I'm just trying to think of
He's
anything
probably
else.
gonna call him as
Actually,
mid.
Noxus.
dude, I'm
Like
so
Noxus
bad at
melee.
regions.
Like I'm more worried.
I guess
like,
start-
more worried about my inaptitude to know what champions are Noxus based.
Yeah, same. Ben, you're like the region. Just start naming
I'm-
Noxus.
I'm thinking. Just give me a second.
Say it out loud. Just start naming Noxus.
Yeah, worst case scenario.
We won't put it in, but just name it.
Well, Noxians, you've got
You
like
give us ideas.
Mordekaiser, but he doesn't use mana. I'm trying. I'm trying to think of all of them too.
No. Is Graves a part of Noxus?
No,
Nope.
he's Bilgewater.
Oh. He wouldn't be a mix?
No.
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 He's almost exclusively.
And it's a mage. It's a mana-based champion, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not what are the roles for jungle?
So we're
It's got to be
looking
jungle
for
or
carry.
ADC.
so guaranteed male, guaranteed mana, guaranteed melee. So Graves wouldn't work anyway because he's not melee. What's the the pony's not
Raven.
considered human, is it?
No, he's melee, right?
Yeah, melee. Got to be melee.
What about the pony?
Hecker
No.
would be Shadow
Hecker
Isles.
is Shadow Isle.
No bit of Noxus.
No. Karamvor Shadow Isles. Because he's part of Viego's army.
Hey, Pen, is Scion mana-based?
Yes.
Yeah,
But he'd be top, wouldn't he?
yeah.
Most likely.
Dude, this is.
But-
What about 80 carries? What are male 80 carries?
Male
All
lady carries?
Just
Draven?
name.
They're all
just-
ranged.
Oh, that is
Draven.
true. So it has to be a
That's it.
jungle.
Samira.
Samira's still a range.
Samira's would still be considered range, and she's a female.
Yeah, we do know it's male. So
So I guess it has to be jungle.
It's partial Noxian.
Nocturne?
I don't think he's Noxian.
he's not human. He's not even partially human, I don't think.
Dude, I'm just trying to throw out
Type it.
junglers at this
Let's,
point.
let's see what happens.
I'm just trying to throw out junglers. Nope, he's an other. It is a jungle. Okay, Noxus Runeterra. Because he's from Runeterra, and it was partial. So Noxus Runeterra.
Arthas?
A Karthus?
No, he's ranged. Never mind. Bad pick.
So jungle, mana, melee, Runeterra, Noxus. Does Runeterra help at all?
In my
What are the Runeterra based ones? Dude, I'm so bad at the regions. I hope you all know this. I'm so fucking bad at the regions.
Runeterra is the entire world.
Yeah, like that's a whole fucking problem. Don't know.
I know, and I'm trying not to have like a list of champions in front of me right now.
Yeah. Like I just feel like Runeterra is just like everything.
I mean, do I put no? So a male.
I'm just trying to think
jungle.
of like male junglers.
I mean, sad thing is, I'm starting to think like, could it actually be Talon, and they would actually call him
Talon
a jungler?
is Noxian. He is Noxian. I know that for a fact.
The issue is we just don't know if they're gonna call him a jungler or a jungle mid.
Don't know. Maybe it
Slap
classifies
it
as
in
both.
there.
Maybe it classifies as both. Because he would classify as both.
Jungle mid, so it's exclusively jungle. So male,
Okay.
jungle, mana melee. So exclusively jungle. Which we already knew that. But now we know Talon's considered jungle mid.
Only a partial human though.
Wukong?
I don't feel
Aeonian.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not Noxian.
Xin Zhao?
Demacian.
Son of a bitch. Quit ruining my picks.
With a simple just poof.
Yeah.
Trinamir.
Freljord.
He'll be considered top anyway.
He also doesn't have mana, so as soon as I said it, I thought of that.
I think, dude, the Noxian part is fucking us up.
I like genuinely like I don't.
The
know of
partial
any
human is
Noxians.
throwing me off.
Like I'm just going through my head of
Karthus
Noxians
is
from I
from
don't.
Shadow Isles, isn't he?
Who?
Yeah,
Karthus.
Karthus. He also is not melee.
True.
God, I want to pull up a fucking list of champions so fucking bad right now. Pops up.
Where is Warwick from? I know he's from
Zon.
but is he a mix?
Zon cannot be
No.
a part of it. Zon is red. Akshan? Is he considered just jungle?
Shimura.
No, Akshan's ranged anyways.
True.
It's bugging me part Noxian. Like, who leaves Noxus and lives?
Riven,
Yeah, just Riven.
but female.
And
Female
Oh,
and not mana.
And I guess Rel kind of, but neither of them can work.
Rel's also female
and support though.
and support.
Jarvan? No, he's a monster.
Demacian. Of all the Demacians to be Demacian, he's Demacian
It's him
the
and
most.
Garen. They're the two Demacian the
King?
most. Ionia.
Son of a
Yeah.
bitch.
Well, who was Kane part of before he became taken over?
He was a disciple of Zed. Oh, maybe Kane. I don't think.
No.
It's
Pretty
not
sure
Nunu,
he's-
is it?
No.
That would be the fucking worst.
It's not
Clearly it's
Olaf,
Teemo.
is it?
Nope.
No,
Are they
Freljord.
human?
Freljord.
They're human, right?
Human.
Yeah.
Human something.
Partially human, so they're
Yeah, they're
augmented
human
in some
something.
way.
It's not Pantheon, is it?
No, Targon.
Where's Shaco from?
Shaco's a marionette.
That didn't answer my question, Pen.
I think it did answer your question. It's not it.
No, it did not.
Rengar?
Don't know.
I'm not hearing a
That's-
no.
That's
Veigar would be-
very possible, but I don't know how that's partially human.
No,
Yeah.
he'd be Yordle.
not.
Set? I don't know.
Ionia.
Ionia. Was Viego from somewhere before he got taken over?
Shadow Isles. Viego. Shadow.
Viego? Like,
He's
from Shadow
Karamvor
Isles.
Shadow Isles.
It's gonna be another stupid one, but Udyr?
No,
Freljord.
that's Freljord.
We already said no to Wukong.
Yep.
Yorick? I don't know.
You know, at
what
this
they
point, like,
consider him.
just plop in Kane. Like,
Or
that's
the
literally
Shadow
the only
Isles.
thing I can think of. Kane is the only thing I can think of because he has.
Kane.
Really?
Okay, yeah, I'll say Kane's the only thing I can think of that follows all
Dude.
of those.
What's
did
his
you see
region
what,
say?
Kane
His region, like,
is Ionia, Noxus, Ross, Runeterra, Shimura. Or Shurima.
he doesn't follow anybody. Like, that's the only reason why I'm like, I don't
Dark and
think
human
that
magically
matters.
altered.
I just wonder because he was part. I don't know if he still is, but he was part of Zed's order.
Yeah,
He was part of his order, but not part of his region.
Hmm.
He follows Zed as his master
he's a part
after
of
Zed had
5
already.
He's a part of 5 regions.
So
He-
Zed had like disowned Shin and all of that bullshit before Kane. So he doesn't
Well,
follow.
We've gotten them all. We got it within
That
5
was-
guesses, or
that
no, 6.
was- yeah, with it 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was a
don't-
tough one. I think we really overthought that one.
Yeah, because like I kept thinking Kane, and then like the Noxus just kept fucking with me. Like, I don't know
I
what
didn't
his
think it-
origin is.
Of all things, I didn't think he was Noxus because I figured with Ross you'd get Shimmerin
He's-
and Darkin.
Yeah,
He's
there's a
everything.
Shurima but he's got like Ionia, Shurima, and Noxus apparently.
He's
So
like, I
weird.
don't give a fuck about anybody, apparently.
Well,
I got it.
Thank you all for listening and stumbling through. I'm the one that vocally said Kane.
Okay.
I'm just fucking with you.
Well, he just gotta know.
Maybe next season we'll add points for Laudel.
There you go.
Whoever can get it first, which means we'll have to figure out a way for Daisy to be able to see it.
Well, by the next
It'll-
season, he
it'll-
should be moved into his new
Yeah.
place, and
We'll be moving
Yeah.
to a new place. I'll have an office. I can do stuff in.
All right. Thanks to all those that are listening. Catch us on the next episode when we talk about what happened in week 7 and have a horrible discussion about Super Week, because there's no way that's going to go well. And then as we prepare for playoffs, because we probably won't have any games to talk about once we find out about the playoffs. So we'll probably have a couple, like a playoff one, and then like another discussion about something else. So thank you all for listening. Like, follow, subscribe, comment, hit the bell, ring a ding, do the thing, and join us next time.